Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us tonight. Really excited tonight. Got a couple great people on here that been just enjoying meeting and getting to know over the course of time here in the community. But again, I was just going to say, my name's Corey. My channel is Wilkie's Movies and Music, and this show is Movie Club. And if you haven't heard already, this is the show where I'll come out and talk randomly with people in the community for a couple hours, and then eventually get around to the movie we're going to talk about for the night for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and then kind of move on from there. But in all seriousness, this is all for fun. It's something that I've really enjoyed doing, being able to reach out, getting to know people in the community a little bit better, and just, I guess, connect with them on a different level. And we'll mix in some movie talk with that as well. And these two, I'm excited to have on tonight. I've been fortunate enough to actually meet them in person before. Had a great time with them. As our good friend Johnny would say, they're salt of the earth. There's some great people, just very down to earth, just fun to be around, genuine people, and putting out some great content. So excited to have them on tonight. So I'm not going to waste any more time and just go ahead and bring them out. But we got Cody and Emily. We got Film Addiction and Mrs. Film Addiction. How we doing tonight?
Doing great. How about yourself, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm excited to have you on here tonight. Like I said, it was fun being able to get to know you guys over, of course, of time through chats and other live streams, but then doing our meetup in Tennessee and actually being able to meet in person. So that was kind of cool to kind of take that to the, the next connection point. So I appreciate you jumping on here tonight. So
man, we're excited.
Yes.
Yeah. So how's things been going since the meetup? We've been just living life, living the dream. What's been going on?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. Going to work, living the life.
Yep.
Movies, just the usual stuff.
Trying to catch up on watching movies that we bought while we were out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so we were touching on that just a little bit before we went live, and it's kind of funny where I still have stacks here that I haven't put away yet that were from that trip even, and there's so many movies I want to get to and watch, but I guess that's where we're fortunate where there's so many great movies that we can get out, get a hold of, whether it's like physical or through streaming, but just trying to find time to fit them in and watch them.
I even went for it again, so.
I know, I was jealous. I saw you did that run, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was really a lot of fun just to kind of go through and look again and see if we missed anything. And you can only buy so much in there.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
I think I said that a couple times where that's a store that I would love to have close to me, but then I'd hate to have close to me.
Yeah.
Because there were so many things there. Yeah. It's nice to have it a little out of reach, that you don't, oop. And I just accidentally took you guys off. See, I'm a pro. I took you off the screen here for a little bit.
That's
so.
not bad.
Done for the night.
I'm done with you guys.
Yeah. Well, that was a good show. So everybody tune in. No, I was just kidding. No, so that's one of those stores that I think is really cool where I know we could buy online anytime and have it shipped to you. But for me anyway, and I think you both are the same way too, where it was kind of cool to be able to be in person there, to just see everything sitting out on shelves, things that you don't see around your home stores at all, and be able to pick it up, take a look at it. And
yeah, if it's in the cart, I can push it off and push it off, push it off. If it was in my hand, I'm like, all right, I'm taking it home now.
That's where I'd probably get in a lot of trouble if I had that store closer to me, but no, that was a great experience. So no, I love it. So I know we're not alone here tonight, and I see some people jumping in the chat, so I might just kind of run through some of those here real quick, and we'll just kind of go from there. But right off the bat, we got Johnny.
Johnny.
What's up, cool kids? So he was another guy that we got to meet up with him in April out in Tennessee when we did that meetup. And
Yes, Johnny and April. They're so great. And
yep,
Johnny,
I love them. Yep, they're great people. And then we got Jane Doe Latte. So hey, mom. So we got Jeff's mom in here. So glad to have you in here. Thank you very much. We got Holland in here saying, hey, Corey, Cody, and Emily.
Hi, Holland.
Like everybody would say, we officially have started a live stream now because got Gizmo in here. He said, Earth Girls are easy, and I love it from... Oh, he's always great for a good comment on here. Was fun to watch tonight. I'll dig into a Russian headless movie now. Gizmo has we'll just say a wide range of film watching in his his collection or what he does. So
So,
sorry, I keep on cutting you off. I don't mean to do that. So
no, you're good.
at any time, just tell me to shut up and we're good with it. Let Corey, stop talking for just a second. And now here's somebody I know I've seen some videos that you've had some interactions with, and I love seeing her getting back in here a little bit, but we got Tiffany in here.
Tiffany, what's up?
So let's get cinematic. So hello, Corey, Cody, and Emily. Tiffany, love seeing you back around and can't wait to see you in the mix a little bit more. I know you have something coming up, I think before too long on Bob's channel, maybe. I think on a live.
Tuesday. I could be wrong about that, but I saw that she was going to be on one of his game nights.
Yeah, I was excited to see that. So love having you back out and around, Tiffany. So excited for that. We got Tony in here, Basement Blues. Good evening, folks. Thanks for joining in, bud. We got Adam, the movie hunter. What's up, everybody? We got Ryan here, Movies with Ryan. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir. We got Derek, Pure Hangout. What's up, Corey in chat? So we got some waves. Oh, we got In Love with Horror. So before too awful long, I'm going to have a nice little chat with these two fine individuals on my channel too. So thank you very much for stopping in, and maybe they're going to see what they're in for and they'll just change their minds and just be like, no, we're good, Corey. So hopefully that's not the case, but very cool people and excited to have them in a little bit later. I think early May, we got them coming in here, but I got Holland, everybody saying hi. I know I always take too long going through here, but I always love seeing everybody jump in and say hi to each other and join in with the chat. Mark, how you doing, bud? Hey, everyone. And then we got, hey, Holland, listening and watching while making dinner. Okay. Well, you're being responsible. I'm just neglecting everything else and just streaming right now. So that's okay. Saying hi. Like I said, I love doing this, and I'm just going to blast through this. If I miss anybody's, I apologize. I don't mean to, but I know it takes me a little bit to go through this. So Adam was just saying in person is so much more fun, and it is cool. And it's kind of surreal too. I mean, what'd you think about that meeting? Not me, I'm not saying like that, but like, you know, like some of these people, like
Think about meeting.
Corey, I could not believe I actually got to meet you in person. But you know, when you get to talk to people for quite a while, or, you know, I've chatted with both of you in, on Instagram or in live chats for quite a while. And then, you know, a couple live streams, and I don't know, what'd you think about actually finally getting to meet some of these people in the group, you know, that whole group we were in Tennessee in person?
For me, it was great. I mean, it felt like you kind of already knew everybody, especially as much as we talked.
That's what it just feels like. It's kind of surreal in a way, because you're like, you never thought you were really going to get that chance to meet everybody. But at the same time, you're like, okay, this is pretty much just like conversating with you over the internet.
Tim and Ryan were a little bit taller than I thought they were.
So that's what's kind of funny when you see somebody only on like this on YouTube or something, and then you see them in real life. And I've done it before too, so I'm not making fun of you, but it's like, what in my mind was like, wow, you're taller than I thought you were going to be. But you know, like, what did I have to judge that from? I have no idea,
Right.
but
Kind of image in your mind, I guess.
yeah, I know. So that was always kind of fun. So, but you guys had a great experience with that, right? You know, it was kind of cool to do that. And
Oh yeah, I loved it. I want to do it again as soon as possible.
I know, I think we were all kind of in that same boat. It's kind of like, when's the next time we can do that? You know?
Yeah,
So
liked everyone. I mean,
Yeah, there wasn't one person that you were like,
going
I
into
wish
it,
that person wouldn't have came. Everybody was great.
yeah, going into it, honestly, you're always like, okay, you feel like there's going to be at least one person where you're like, oh, never mind. As fun as I thought they'd be, or I don't know about them, but we really enjoyed meeting everybody at that meeting.
yeah. So I think that was one of the cool things, and you kind of don't know at first when you go into it, but you said like, there's so many of us that we had been talking in live stream chats or, you know, being on live streams with some of the people before. And it just didn't seem like there was that awkward phase. It was just like you went in and it's like, oh, we've known you forever, and just started talking. And that was kind of the coolest feeling, I think, that I took from the whole thing. But yeah, no, it was good time. We'll have to plan out another one, but we got Collector Movie Man saying hello. Thanks for jumping in. Johnny saying hi to Jane Doe. Everybody saying hi. Like I said, I'm getting better at this, but it still takes me a while to go through the chat. What did you think about it when you did it? I know you did your live stream, and
Well, when I did my live stream, I feel like I was okay. But when I had to do Bob's live stream on his channel, he was like rushing me and then slowing me down and rushing me, and I messed the thing up.
When you're doing it on someone else's channel, they have a standard. They're like, I want you to go this speed, and you're like,
So that one I messed all up. On mine, I left the chat up a few times, and it's a lot. Talk and read, and hope you don't miss someone's comment, but it's not. It's not terrible.
I do that all the time where it's like, oh, that comment's been up on the screen for about 20 minutes, but you know what?
Out, so it's okay.
Yeah. So no, when it's on your own channel, it's like, I didn't mess up. It's just, that's what I plan to do. Right. So that's what I go with anyway. But let's see here. We got Johnny saying, I was right. Cody just smiling in the background. Yep. Emily and I are going to hang out and talk tonight, and Cody's just going to hang back.
Back here.
oh, no. I need him to do some of the talking.
There we go. Well, and I can't be the only one because I usually talk too much. So that's where I was like, you got to give me the signal when you're like, Corey, bring it down. Bring it down. Shh. Collector Man said, asking how we're doing today. I'm doing pretty good. I was looking forward to this night. So I was looking forward to a fun Saturday night. So you don't feel obligated to say the same thing. So
no, we were for sure.
Yes. Really
I'm kidding. So I know, like, both of us, I know, sorry. Gizmo was saying, I've seen many of the vids from Film Addiction. Do you have a video from Orbit, if I remember right? Or do you have one from Orbit? Sorry, I'm horrible at reading.
That I got from Orbit. I didn't do a walk around video like Tim and Ryan did and Bob.
Yeah, we didn't do in-store footage.
I'm not as comfortable as they are. I'm not professional.
So I haven't done that yet either. I haven't done that, like the filming out and about in public. I haven't done that yet. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. It's kind of like maybe what you're saying. I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that yet or not,
but me, I'm already uncomfortable as it is doing it in my own house.
Yeah.
Doing it in the store, I'm like, no.
I think that's next level.
Yeah. We'll see. I haven't tried it out yet, but we'll see. But no, that's cool. Gizmo, you were saying that you just got your first order from Orbit. They just started shipping to Europe. So, yep. So that's cool. I'm glad you were able to get that. Hopefully the shipping wasn't too crazy for you. Saying what's up to Adam. Saying hi. Gizmo say, by the way, I love it. I always got... Gizmo, you have some great comments, bud. So we'll pass by that one. I love you, man. He always likes to throw me off a little bit. Collector Mood Man saying, hey, Corey, I just wanted to ask, did you check out my Mondo Marvel 4K Steelbooks that I got? I have not seen that yet, sir. I will try to check that out. So Scottish Geek Guy saying, howdy. Thank you very much for joining in, sir. I know it's for like you and Gizmo too. It's pretty late for you all. So he's actually out over in Scotland. So.
Oh, okay.
Thanks
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining in. There's so many people in Europe that have joined in these that are like, it's crazy. It's awesome how they can join in and help out and jump in the streams. But man, you got some early morning hours. So you guys are awesome.
Tiana.
Oh, there. Where did I miss Tiana? There. See, I'm bad at this, but Tiana, there you're. Hey, everyone. See, I'm bad at jumping by everything, but Tiana, we love you. She's the ultimate like supporter, isn't she?
Like Holland and her.
Oh gosh, both of them. They're everywhere. It's awesome. Saying hi, everybody. Hey, Corey in the woods.
Corey in the woods.
Corey's in the woods.
Corey in the woods. That might happen. So we got. What's that?
Go ahead. You're good.
Oh, no, that's all right. I was just going to say, so Jimmy, the Scottish Geek Guy, Jimmy was saying, not watching WrestleMania? No, I'm not. Nothing against it. Do you guys watch it?
No, I've never really watched a whole lot of wrestling, but I know some family that does.
I watched it back in the day in WWF. But
yeah.
But I heard that it was coming on tonight. I think someone posted about that on Facebook earlier, and I was like, okay, that's going on.
Yeah, I used to watch it back in the day. What's that? Sorry, I cut you off.
Might be watching that instead.
Yeah. So I know that we're cutting into WrestleMania and also some Final Four basketball. So
We got to fight.
Yeah.
no, yep. You got to fight. Are any teams you're pulling for in that, or you don't care?
Oddly enough, they did a March Madness bracket challenge at our work, and I've never really watched too much basketball. Like, I am a huge sports fan, but I've just never really watched a whole lot of basketball. So when I filled out the bracket, I was just pretty much guessing on
Yeah.
every. But I had 2 teams in the Final Four. But I knew that that's where it was going to stop because my other 2 teams that made it to the final 2 were not in it any longer.
Yeah.
So I was number 1 in the whole office, but I was like, well, that's not going to continue because my other 2 teams were out. But
Well, and I've seen that so many times with those things where just people don't, if you put too much thought into it, it almost doesn't make a difference. I know people that like win those pools when they're just like, oh, I'm picking what color I like best of the schools or what mascot I like best of the schools.
they're going based off color and stuff, like not ranking or anything. But we weren't winning money, of course. We were just winning an extra like 30-minute break. So
Okay. That's all right. I'll
I
take it.
know. It's better than nothing. So
I was going to say, it's the little things in life, right? We got Adam saying hi to Tiana. I'm sure they're T. So saying hi. See, I'm trying to catch up through this real quick, but saying hi. Tony was saying Tim is a natural filming in stores.
Agreed.
Yeah. He doesn't feel phased at all. I was just watching one of his latest videos today and it's just like nothing. And I think I'd be too nervous.
when he was doing it.
And I couldn't even tell he was talking to the camera at first.
Oh yeah.
Other people were kind of giving him looks sometimes, and he does not care. I'm like, I would feel just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where you just kind of have to just block everybody else out and do your thing.
Yep.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not bothering you. Just leave me alone. I'm just talking to a camera. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm doing my thing.
He's got that cool little camera now anyway, so it's not like he's got this big honking thing. So it's maybe that helps out a little bit too.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we need to get one of those and we'll be more comfortable.
Yeah, we're not just holding our phone in our face.
Yeah, exactly. Johnny was agreeing that with Tony that Tim is a natural at that. Yep, he is great at it. I agree. Gizmo saying, don't start with it, Corey. Keep the camera in your pants when you're in the store. Rumor has it that you will die a virgin in your next life if you film in public. You heard it here first. Like I said, he's always good for a good quote. Gizmo's good for that. He likes to throw me off. Collector Movie Man was saying, hey, Film Addiction, I think I'm following you on Instagram. I will have to follow you on YouTube. I do not know you had a YouTube account. So maybe we should hit that real quick because I know it's kind of funny where you follow a person on one thing and not the other. And sometimes you don't realize you're not following them on the other. But do you guys want to throw out anything, kind of plug YouTube, Instagram, anything? Do you want to do that? You can throw it out there.
On YouTube and Film Addiction 26, I believe, on Instagram. And she has an Instagram, which is Emily P. Wood or something?
Yeah, I'm Emily P. Wood on Instagram and then Miss Film Addiction on YouTube. I don't really put a lot of videos out on YouTube. You'll find me more on his channel, but you never know. Sometimes I throw in a video, and then my Instagram sometimes is just family postings and stuff. But if you like to follow us and just check us out, do it.
I would say if you're not, you have to go out, check their stuff out. It's so much fun. So do it. Don't even think twice.
Just do it.
Just do it. Speaking of just doing it, Johnny's he's cheering over there for Alabama. It says in the Final Four.
Go Dogs.
Yeah, the dogs aren't in it, but yeah, always go Dogs.
I don't even watch sports.
So my wife has gotten really into University of Iowa. The Iowa Hawkeye women are in the championship now. They're going to be playing tomorrow. So that's yeah. I know you're excited. I can see it in your faces. You're pretty excited about the Hawkeyes. So Yep. I kind of am obligated to watch it because she really wants to, but I like joining in and watching, but I don't usually sit down and watch a whole game. So
Your wife wants
Dell,
to
what's
do
that?
it.
Yep.
Your wife wants it, then you do it.
Yep. Exactly. You know, we got Dell in here saying, what's up? Thank you, sir,
Yeah.
for jumping in. Saying hi to Dell. Collector Movie Man saying, hey, Corey, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. I'm actually watching 24 season 4. I'm almost done with it. Well, good luck. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi, and I hope you have fun with the rest of that season. That's awesome. Adam was saying break time is priceless. I'll take any.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. I gotta have that 30-minute break.
Yeah, I'd play a pool for that. Yeah, get a little extra time off, but saying hi. Dell was saying, I ran an office bracket contest for 5 years straight when I was in sales and never won it myself. It was always the person who knew the least about basketball. I agree.
Yeah, just guess.
So you said you're still winning, or you were just?
I'm still winning, but after tonight, is it tonight that they're playing? After tonight's games, I'm not going to be winning anymore because the teams I had in the final 2 are no longer in it. So I think that's it for me.
Okay. No, that's good. Sorry, I got to laugh a little bit. No, that's awesome. What's that?
Thanks, Corey.
No, not at you. I was laughing at your husband.
You'll catch it on later.
Oh, it went right.
No, I wasn't laughing at you, Emily. Not at all. So Dale was saying hi to the chat. We got Laren. Laren, how we doing? Hey, Wilk and Mr. and Mrs. Film Addiction. Good evening.
What's up, Larry?
Hey.
Always good to see you in here, sir. Love it. Saying hi to Laren. Seeing all the love going around. Sorry, I'm flying through some of these. Lord Gary, executive producer. Hello, guys. How are you doing? I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you're doing great yourself. Tiana saying, hey, Laren. We got Waven from Tony. What's your favorite scary movie? Oh, we got a question here. Do you have a favorite scary movie?
Like we're in Scream right now.
What's that? What is that supposed to mean?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, what's your favorite scary? Yours is what? The Ring.
I've always said The Ring just because it was actually one of my first like movies that I watched that was kind of like scared the crap out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it, I think it was 11 or 12 at a friend's house for a sleepover, and to this day I watch it and just it gives me the creeps.
Yeah.
That's always
Cody-
the one.
I love all horror, so I mean, Gary, I guess it would be The Exorcist.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, see, and that's a hard question to answer. And I usually don't say like, oh, this is my top, because it could probably change from day to day, but I'll probably have to go back to just, kind of like Emily, what you're saying, like kind of your early one that you saw that really scared you. And really early on, I think the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I saw that pretty young and that freaked me out. And so I'll throw that one out just because that one's going to always last with me, because that was probably one of my first like really scary movies I saw.
Yeah,
It's a good choice.
that is a good one. Definitely.
So we got saying hi again. I love this. Like I said, sorry, it takes me a while to get through all the chat, but I love seeing it. Love everybody saying hey. They're saying, what's up, Johnny? Gizmo was saying, I actually saw a new good Disney movie this week. Togo. Was almost about to celebrate Dog Snow William Dafoe movie.
Oh,
I'm missing you on that one, man. Togo.
I think I've seen that one. I believe.
I think we actually watched that one maybe late last
If it's the
year.
one I remember, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Huh. I'll have to look it up.
So
Yeah, we like him a lot.
I got my little pad of paper here. I'll have to write that down. I don't know anything about it.
Free to check out, Corey.
I know, all right. Yeah, added to other reasons not to watch the actual physical movies I have sitting in my house. So see if I can. Yep, exactly. Lord Gary, executive producer, was saying my favorite is Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, that's a great one.
Classic.
So not the first one, but I know I saw that pretty early on too. But out of the Elm Street movies, one of the earliest, I think the first one I saw out of that was 3 Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors. That's I love the first one and then that one. In my
I don't
opinion.
know if you can see the poster behind it that we got from Orbit.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I think that was I think that was the first one I saw from Nightmare on Elm Street, because it was what was I going to say? It was so I grew up out in the country. We didn't have cable TV or anything like that, and there was before streaming. But then my cousin lived in town. They had cable, so every once in a while we get to go in there, and then we'd stay up too late and watch HBO later than we were supposed to. And it seemed like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was one, and then for whatever reason, I remember Nightmare on Elm Street 3 being another one, and Christine was another early one too.
Yeah.
I actually just watched Christine for the first time like 6 months ago, I think.
Oh yeah, what'd you think of it?
I liked it.
It's really good, huh?
Yeah, I was just, I feel like I hadn't really watched a movie like that before where the car was the killer. So
yeah,
definitely different. I enjoyed it a lot.
Maximum Overdrive?
That's true. Maximum Overdrive. But again, I hadn't really watched that one either until a couple of years ago. So
yeah. No,
that I didn't get to see when I was a kid.
Yeah, Christine's a good one. I like that. So what would you choose between Christine and Maximum Overdrive if you threw that one out there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, all day. Personally.
Yeah. I got to love the soundtrack of that one better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think really what tops it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You got AC/DC going on that. So Dell was saying Scream is his number one.
Scream's awesome. I love Scream. All of them. Wow.
I almost said that because I had brought up the comment, what's your scary movie?
Oh, yeah, right. You did say that. Oh, what you got going on? Oh, there, you got it on the shirt too.
Yes. My daughter,
I love that.
How bad, but our 11-year-old daughter really likes Scream.
She loves it.
Oh, that's a good one though.
Yeah, we enjoy that movie as a family. So
Derek saying, I think my fave is The Devil's Rejects.
Yes. Great movie.
So you approve of that one?
Rob Zombie.
I haven't seen all of his. I'm pretty sure I've seen that one. That's where I get bad on some of his. I kind of mix them up, which one's which. So, but I'm bad with that. Jane Doe was saying Midnight Meat Train is hers. Oh, that's you don't hear people talk about that one too often.
Fun one. I don't think you've seen that one.
I don't think I have.
It's a good one.
It's kind of freaky. That's an earlier. Well, I think it's an earlier, but Bradley Cooper's in it.
Yep.
I didn't even realize it. I just saw that probably last year for the first time.
Yeah, I don't think I even have that one, but I need
I
to.
don't think so.
Yep, I do have that one, but it was from. Oh, this is where I blank on people, but there was a couple people suggesting it, and so I know I saw it cheap one time, and I was like, I'll grab that and check it out. But no, it was a good watch. It's way different than I was expecting. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean bad, but just different.
No,
Gizmo was saying Scream is good, but I just hate the people in the film look like they're 30, but they actually are 15.
Yeah.
Like a lot of horror movies.
So okay. So I said that wrong, but it looks like they are 30, but they act like they're 15. Yeah. So you'll find out I'm really horrible about trying to like keep up and like read and like pay attention to other things going on. So if I say something completely wrong, it's just going to be par for the course here today. Laren was saying, hey, Derek, Lord Gary, executive producer, saying Mama Kruger does live stream. I was on chatting with her last night in the chat. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Dell was saying Midnight Meat Train is a fun one. So, well, cool. So I know we're talking a lot about horror movies right now, and I know I've seen a lot of videos that you've been putting out of your monthly boxes, your horror packs that you have coming out. Would you say that's the genre that you hit the most, or?
I would say, yeah, that's kind of what we go for. I mean, I'll watch anything from chick flicks to action, horror, comedy, but horror is kind of where I lean towards.
Okay. Emily, what about you?
So I really enjoy horror. I think that kind of surprised Cody when we first started dating. He never would have expected that would have been something that I was really into. But I definitely enjoy horror. I don't know that I have a favorite, but I definitely lean towards that one. But on the flip side of that, I really do enjoy like a typical woman. I enjoy a good tear-jerker chick flick. So
she's not big on action.
action's probably my least favorite genre. I find it boring, even though action's supposed to be exciting.
Yeah.
I just always the same, like car chases going through the streets. Guy's got the gun. Like, oh, it's the same as the last one.
That's all right. You know, not every genre is for everybody, but you know, it's kind of funny. I know I brought this up probably multiple times, but there's so many times where my wife and daughter are watching a movie and they love the ones that make them cry. And there's like so many times where I'll like walk out in the living room. They're both like bawling and I'm like, are you guys okay? And they're like, oh, this movie's so sad. And I'm like, what does it get so sad? I'm like, shut it off. And they're like, no, it's good. They want to finish it and see how it ends. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I keep on walking, but then I watch other stuff that they'll look at and be like, why are you still watching this? You know, but
yeah, I feel like for women or people in general, I like movies that make me feel something. That's the whole point of watching a movie. And I feel like horror and chick flicks kind of go hand in hand. When you're watching a horror movie, it makes you feel like scared, or it's just like heighten your adrenaline or whatever. And then if you're watching a chick flick, it's making you feel other feelings like sad or whatever.
yeah. So, well, no, I agree with you. I mean, both of them are bringing an emotion out of you that you don't have at that moment, and it's causing you to feel that emotion. So whether it's like being scared or excited or like crying or, you know, being sad, it's, you know, it's just, you're connecting with it and you're,
yeah, I like
no,
to
I can,
what I'm watching.
I don't mind watching the sad ones that make you cry, but I gotta be in the right mood for them. So I usually want a heads up on those and just be in the right, cause I'm not always in the mood for them. There's nothing bad about them. I just got to be in the right spot for watching that.
Yeah, I can't just come home and pop that in.
No, nope. So, yep. So, okay, that's cool. That's good to know. So that's always one thing I kind of wonder about. There was like so many couples that I've met in the community that, you know, horror is a big part of what they watch, and whether one or the other of the couple introduced the other one to it or kind of, you know, brought them into it more than the other. And I've seen it both ways, you know, so it doesn't lean one way or the other. So, but you all both kind of enjoyed them before you met. And then when you met up, it wasn't like one kind of introduced it to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely dived into it a lot more, like seen a lot more than I even thought was out there since we got together. I think we both have though. Like we both just kind of dove into it a lot more, but yeah, that was already in place before we met. So
no, that's cool. So it's cool to see that, where I think, and I don't agree with this, but I think there's so much lean, and I think it's changing a lot now too, but like horror, it seems like it always leaned to like that was a guy thing or a guy genre of movies. But when I've gotten into the BlueTube community, you know, like meeting out with everybody, I'm meeting so many women out in the community that love horror, and they know so much more about it than I do. And I love getting their feedback and their recommendations, because I've gotten so many great recommendations. But it's cool to see that it's like genres of movies the barriers are being broken down, and it's not like a guy thing or a woman thing. You know, it's like just anybody can enjoy it and have fun with it.
Right.
yeah, I feel like it's interesting when you say that, because people assume women just don't like scary things, which there are women out there that don't, you know.
And there's men that don't too, right? You know, so
yeah, there's men that don't like it either. But what bothers me is I feel like a lot of directors try to gear horror movies towards men more.
Yeah.
With like the boobs and all that stuff, which it is what it is. But it's like, I don't know. It's just funny that, like you said, I feel like it's definitely.
Corey doesn't want to talk about boobs on his
I
channel.
know. It's perceived to be more of a you know.
I thought we agreed about this.
But
I just want to exit us out now.
Yeah, right.
But
I'm gonna get in trouble now.
I do feel like a lot of there are directors out there that try to gear it towards men more, but
yeah,
their stuff for sure. Like we don't mind the gore and, you know, the scary stuff.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No, I enjoy seeing that. And it's like I said, I've met so many people after getting involved with different groups or chats online. It's fun to see who all likes different genres and the knowledge they have and their willingness to share it with other people. So,
Right.
Lord Gary was saying, what's your take on Gremlins 1, 2, and 3?
I've only seen the first two.
There's only 2, I think.
Well,
Oh.
and that's what I didn't want to say anything wrong, but I know I've seen 2, for the first and second, but I didn't think there was a third.
Yeah, the Gremlins 1 and 2. Just those movies are great. I love Christmas movies. I feel like it has a Christmas theme. To at least the first one. I'm not sure about the second one.
Second one's good.
Yeah, but we have a little Gremlins little
whatever he's called.
Yes, Gizmo.
Gizmo.
Have him up on our shelf here. I love those movies.
No, they're great. Yep, they're fun. I know the first one especially. I remember seeing that in the theater and having a great time with it. But Derek was saying my wife zones out during action movies too, unless they star Keanu Reeves.
If you throw in like a nice looking guy, might grab my attention a little bit. But even then, I'm still like, okay.
Like the guest.
Yeah.
I haven't
love
seen that.
That guy. Oh, I don't even remember his name. But...
Oh, no. I have seen that. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Hot.
Listen to you. Throw in a hot looking guy and you're going to watch the movie. Come on. Maybe. I thought we were beyond this, Emily. Come on.
Oh.
Like maybe it has to have a little bit of a plot. But
I'm joking. Hey, I'm not ashamed to admit that he's a good looking guy. I'll give him that. He's a good looking guy. But
like Google check or Wikipedia, and he was the Beast in the Beauty and the Beast live action. I was like, oh yeah, I know, I recognized him.
Oh, I didn't realize that actually.
Yeah. So
that movie had kind of a different feel to it, like kind of a 80s or 90s vibe. I don't know. It was kind of a little different. What you both watched it and you enjoyed it, or?
I enjoyed the first half more than I enjoyed the second half, but
yeah.
The reveal, I feel like was kind of not great, but
I like the vibe that the first half was going. The second half, it kind of lost me a little bit. It was still good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
I had fun with.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, please.
I felt like they were really building up to like an interesting kind of mystery.
It was kind of mysterious and stuff, and then second half,
when you figure out what's going on, you're like, what?
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know. I was a little confused by what he was supposed to be.
I'll agree with it. It kind of fell flat a little bit. I was expecting more. I don't know how secretive some things were leading up that first half, like you said. Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on with this guy? Like, God, it's gotta be something pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you don't really get a whole lot from it. But Lord Gary was saying, have you seen Dolls 1986? It's classic horror. I have not.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also in that Arrow video box set. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, is that one of them in that Return to the Video Store one, or?
Yeah. Right there.
Oh, you got that. Yep. You got her.
Yeah, that's the reason I got it, Dolls, because it was like $90 for the Scream Factory edition.
And you got the whole set for that then.
We watched it, but we have seen so many movies about dolls. I'm trying to remember.
I had all little puppets and stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
So, sometimes they start running together. I do that all the time.
Running together a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Del was saying hi to Derek and Laren. Everybody saying hi. Del was saying, Emily, you felt nothing when John Wick killed someone with a book. How could you not?
Have you even watched John Wick?
Can I make an admission? I've never seen the John Wick movies.
She doesn't watch them with me.
You haven't seen any of them? Any of them?
No.
Any of them?
I put on action, fighting, nonsense. She just walks out. I'm like, okay.
Wow. Okay, so that surprised me. I'm not saying it surprised me you don't care for them if you saw them. But, so I'll admit, so I can admit, I haven't seen the fourth one yet.
No.
Exactly. I get the jaw drop on that one.
Fourth one's the best one, in my opinion.
And I own it.
But I'm sure that they're great. It's just I never watched like the first one or the second one because there was maybe stuff going on. And then when he went to see the third one, I just was like, oh, I haven't seen the first ones. And I'll probably watch them at some point.
Probably.
Probably
Probably not.
not.
That's okay. Hey, that's like not every movie's for every person. So we got Steve in here, Excelsior Movie Reviews.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how we doing? Thanks for dropping in. Saying hi. Oh, we got Gizmo. We'll see what he says here. They took a test on this at BT Film Festival in Holland, 55% of the audience for horror are females, but in action, 90 is males. I don't know if the numbers are the same in the United States.
Well, that sounds about right.
90%. That's
for action is males. Yeah,
that's crazy though.
That is crazy.
But for horror, it was just slightly more female for the.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can say that.
Yeah.
But maybe some of the action movies is kind of like you're saying, where you felt like some of them were pushing more towards a men, like to appeal to men than women, and maybe horror movies are appealing more across the board. Do you feel that or no?
Yeah, no, for sure. I was saying I feel like a lot of the horror movies, they try to like appeal towards men. And I was like, I feel like a lot of women are watching this. So I make the 55% are women, but the male, I can't believe that's 90%. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not fighting that stat, but I could. Like, I don't have anything to back up numbers, but just from people I've met in the community, like chats and everything, I know a lot more women that get more excited to see a horror film than an action film. And that doesn't mean there aren't some. So, I mean, those numbers, whether how close they are to being accurate, I don't know. But I guess it doesn't surprise me the more I think about it.
No, I'm glad I'm not alone on the action film thing.
Well, I know a lot of guys, too, that they're just like, nah, it's just not my thing, which is cool. It doesn't have to be. Andy, how we doing? Just saying, just watched The Beekeeper, really good and funny. I actually.
Yeah, Jason Statham.
So would you watch it because he's in it?
Statham?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not a huge fan of his, but he's all right. I would watch it just because I think it looks interesting.
Yeah. I had fun with it. I saw it in the theater, and I thought it was fun. Not saying it's going to win an award, but I had fun watching it. It was a good action flick. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's some that you can just have fun with, and you're not saying, like, greatest movie ever, but you still had a great time watching it.
Yeah, we've watched a lot of movies like that.
Yeah, lots of them. But Tiffany was saying, I'm with you, Emily. Action is my least favorite. Horror is my absolute favorite.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tiffany's got a lot of horror.
Yep, I've known that. She's showed... Going through her, that's what's kind of fun when some people do videos on their collection. And I know she was doing some where she was like going through like her whole collection, like, and it's fun to see stuff that's in what people have and what they watched and haven't watched. And
she does the horror pack too now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know when she used to do her videos, she would open those.
Yep.
Adam was saying can't go wrong with horror. I always liked horror, but I've dug into it more, I'd say, in the last like 2 to 3 years, a little bit more. But I've always watched them here or there, but I would not say I'm like the top diehard fan of horror movies, but always enjoyed them, but dug into them more. It's just, I kind of have a limit on certain things that I do or don't do.
Genre.
What's that?
Your favorite genre.
You know, and this is where I always think people think I try to take the easy way out, but I'm such a mood watcher. Like, I just got to be in the right mood for it. So, you know what I mean? Like, there's like some night that like I'll watch a cry movie and bawl my eyes out and enjoy it. But there's certain nights I don't even want to touch it. And all I want is something silly, action, no thinking, like throw in Commando with Schwarzenegger, you know, and just sit back. I've watched it 50 times, but I'm going to watch it again.
Donnie said before, like, had a bad day at work and you just come home and you want a comedy movie.
Yeah.
So you just pop into comedy.
Yeah.
So most definitely. I
think I hit most of the genres. It just, I got to be in the right mood for it. But the horror I've gotten into more, but I'll say I'll steer away a little bit more from ones that are just, so the ones that kind of annoy me a little bit is when they just go like overboard gore for gore's sake. And there's just nothing else to the movie. You know, there's not really a story. It's just like, okay, we're going to gross you out for an hour and a half. And I don't mind gore, but you know, if there's some story with it, or there's some that will just go over the top jump scares, like no story. And they're just going to jump scare you the whole time, you know, like.
Yeah, there definitely are bad horror movies. Like you were saying, I don't mind the blood and gore, but there is over the top to the point where you're like, this is too much. You know, you've seen it to where it was too much.
Yeah,
like,
but you got to be in the right mindset, and sometimes just laugh at it.
But yeah, like you said, also when there's no plot or anything, and it's just jump scares. I've seen some really bad jump scares and stuff too. So there are definitely some bad horror movies out there.
Yeah. No, like I said, I like it. I'll watch someone that has a lot of gore in it, but just as long as there's something else going on with the story or the movie as well. But
has to be a story.
Yeah.
Oh.
Van Gool is saying my wife is into Leonardo DiCaprio suspense movies like Shutter Island. That's a good one.
Haley loves Leonardo DiCaprio anyways.
It's so funny because she's 11 years old, and obviously Leonardo DiCaprio these days, he looks much different. He's getting older, but she's obsessed with the movie Titanic. Over and over. She loves the way he looks.
The whole thing.
In that era. And like that was about 20, 25 years ago. So it's like you show her what he looks like now, and she's like, okay, well, not anymore. Just how back then.
Yeah, she likes young Leo.
Young Leo. And I'm like,
so, that's a long movie too. So she keeps on just rewatching Titanic, huh?
Watches this the first half. She watches the aftermath, the disaster over there in the water and all that. She watches the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So she has, and I'm not comparing them at all, but she ever watched any of his other, like, what was the one they redid, like Romeo and Juliet?
No, I haven't even seen that one in a long time. Is there another one she watches with Leo in it?
I was trying to think. I feel like we watched another movie of his with her. I can't remember. I
know she's just obsessed with Titanic.
She's obsessed with Titanic, yes.
No, that's funny. I love it. But it's kind of cool when that's a movie that's so much older than her that she's connecting with and has fun with. But
he cries at the end, you know.
Oh. Don't get talking about quotes from Gizmo. Don't get him started on Rose, and that there was enough room on that door that she could have. Oh, it's so funny. I had some late night chats with him before. That was kind of funny with that. But Tiana was saying the cheesier the horror, the better.
Yeah, cheesy horror is so much fun.
Yep. You have some fun with it. Van Gogh was saying Tiana like Evil Dead. So I think like Evil Dead 2, that was like where they went kind of cheesy with it, and I had fun with that one. But yep, yeah, definitely Army of Darkness, absolutely. Adam jumping in there. Tiana saying, yeah, Evil Dead is good. Yep. People saying hi again. Gizmo was saying, I will, Corey, I think I have a mouse problem here. Have a fun stream. And Rose is another word for evil, Lucifer or the devil. Like I said, he already probably said that before I said that. But yeah, you get him started on Rose, he'll let you hear about it. It's funny. Tiana was saying, oh, that arrow set is awesome. Sorry, I'm a little slow here, but yeah, that was a cool set. So you have the original, the full set.
Yes.
Yeah. Cause they have like a re-release, but it's kind of a thinned out version. That's just the movies.
Yeah. This has got the whole thing in it.
Yeah.
That was one
I'm gonna show it again.
I finally actually pre-ordered and got.
I had that in the cart and I almost got it, but then I backed out. So
it was one I was like, screw it, I'm getting it.
There was a couple in there I'd seen from like VHS rental days, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to go back and watch. The one that I remembered the most out of it actually was the Robot Jocks or Robo Jocks. Or
I haven't watched that one yet.
We watched the Dungeon Master
and Cellar Dweller.
I will say, I mean,
Cellar Dweller was fun.
I feel like the Dungeon Master wasn't great in my opinion.
Yeah, I have not seen all of them. That's where I'm trying to remember which ones I've even seen. I know for sure I saw that RoboJocks, but I'm not sure on the other ones. But Lauren was saying good luck with the mouse gizmo. Yeah, hopefully you get that figured out. That's never fun.
No.
Little Gary was saying I'm helping crowdfunding for a lot of movies on Indiegogo. Oh, cool. It's kind of cool to get in and join. So I've tried to do that a little bit too, where I've been talking with people in the community, and some people are more creative than me, where they're like starting to do some things like writing or short films. It's kind of cool to see people do that and to try to support them, even if it's just jumping in and, watching their content and commenting and thumbs up and sharing. It's cool to do that.
For sure.
So cool. Tony was saying I liked all the John Wick films. So Emily, you just offended Tony because
I'm so sorry. I'm sure they're great. I just haven't.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Like I said, I missed the first or second one, and by the time third one came out, and he went and saw it in theater, I hadn't had a chance to see them.
No, that's funny. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know.
Holland's saying he needs to see John Wick 4 as well. Okay, good. I'm not the only one. So Holland, I got to find out, do you own it and haven't watched it like me? I have it sitting on the shelf and I just have not getting around to watch it. But so do you ever have any problem like this with me? And I know we'll get to our movie tonight. And I wasn't joking. We entered into this thing that I chat a lot, and it's hours of me rambling with people, and then we'll get to a little bit. But I just love this as my excuse to get to hang out with people. But it's hard for me to hit, even at home sometimes, the movies that are hitting the 3-hour mark. When you're pushing 3 hours or more.
Yeah, because I watched Oppenheimer, and I was trying to get her to watch it before the awards and all that, and I couldn't get her to see it because it was 3.5 hours long or whatever.
Who has time for that?
Well, that's what I picked up as well here recently. I was lucky enough, I found the Steelbook through Walmart one day when I was going through there. So I grabbed it because I thought it was a cool looking Steelbook, and I wanted to see it as well. But man, even at home, it's hard to hit those longer ones. And I know I could split it up, but for whatever reason, it annoys me to stop a movie and come back to it like a next day or so. I don't know why.
Not good about that at all. And I've noticed that she would rather watch 2 1.5 hour long movies than one 3.5 hour long movie.
Yeah, it's nice to break it up. I mean, when you spend 3.5 hours with one plot, it's a lot. I mean, it gets your mind it just exhausts you.
It's funny. Somebody made this comment. I didn't come up with it, but I agree with it. Where they said, what did they say? They said they could watch like 2, 1.5 or 1 hour and 40-minute movies, and it felt way shorter than 1 3-hour movie.
It does.
And I agree with that.
Which everybody says that about Oppenheimer before they give it a chance. Oppenheimer didn't really feel like it was 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
It's a long movie, but it's almost like 2 movies. You got the story about this and then the courtroom drama type situation. So it's almost like 2 movies. So It didn't look that long.
Well, I know I want to watch it, but it's just one of those things that sometimes I get around to being able to watch a movie and it's already like 10:30 or 11, and I can't start a 3.5 hour movie, at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, if it's too late, I'm not even doing it.
Yep. No, I'm right there too. But Van Gogh is saying John Wick 4 is good, but just more of the same. And I've heard that but I'm going to watch it sometime. I got it. But Halloween Kill or Halloween Ends? Ooh.
Halloween Kill.
How about you, Emily?
Whatever.
I would say Halloween Kills, although unpopular opinion, I really didn't mind Halloween Ends.
Slow lean to the right.
That movie's horrible.
No,
I'd go with Kill as well. But, Lord Gary, you're getting some good questions in here tonight. I love it. Dell on movie. Dell. I'm just reading your whole thing. Dell. Emily translated, I'm not saying I'm not a huge fan of his, but I'm not a huge fan of his. I think that was with Statham, maybe.
Damn it, Dale.
Did you say that with Statham, kind of?
I don't hate him. Like, I liked Crank.
Yeah.
But
that's an action movie, by the way.
Yeah. Like I said, there's exceptions. I don't hate all action movies. But I don't know. Statham's, he's all right. He's all right. He's not great.
I just know, yeah, I know it's he's fun though. He's got some fun movies. Jane Doe was saying, Corey, that's an appreciation of substance, definitely a must. And I don't know if that's hitting back. This is where I get far behind on the chat and kind of forget what we're talking about. But I don't know if that's maybe talking about some of the movies having some storyline along with it too. You know, with the horror movies maybe, or you just want a little substance to it, not just let's have a lot of gore going on. But
And constant killing.
Yep. Sarah's in here tonight. Hello, Sarah. Saying hi to everybody. Appreciate it. Lord Gary was saying, who remembers VHS tapes? Well, I grew up with that. So, yep, I do for sure.
Yep.
I'm old enough. We didn't have VHS tapes in our house for a while because it was too expensive. And I remember then the first day we were able to. So for the longest time, the VHS store, the rental stores that we had, they would rent out portable VHS players as well. So people who didn't have a VCR at home, you could rent for a weekend. You could rent like a small VCR, and then you'd rent, your couple movies that you wanted to. And I remember doing that quite a while before we were able to afford to buy a VCR.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, we only had a VHS player for the longest time, and then we had finally, when I was like in my late teens, the VHS DVD combo player.
That thing was you were badass when you had that.
I know, we felt like we were moving up in the world.
Oh, I was just excited to get a VCR altogether, so no, that's cool. Was that one of them you could like tape off of the DVD?
I maybe, but I know you could, if you had a VCR, like you had a VHS tape, you could pop it in, or if you had the upgrade, the DVD, you could pop that in side by side.
Yep.
Side by side.
Well, it's kind of like Cars for the longest time when it started switching over. You'd have the Cars with the CD player and the tape deck in there, together. So it's kind of bridging that gap between the two, and then they slowly phased one of them out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that's cool. But yeah, no, a lot of great memories. I also remember my dad getting mad when we'd rent movies sometimes, and they were like literally under $1 a piece to rent, and that was a waste of money. It's like you rented 3 movies and they were like 98 cents a piece. But this is also 80s. So, but that's kind of funny. Johnny was saying, does she agree with the rest of the planet that Rose could have fit Jack on that damn door? Probably Haley. Does she feel Rose should have rolled over and like let Jack crawl up there?
Absolutely. Yeah. She has such a sense of humor too. She's hilarious like that, but yeah, absolutely. And I've heard that they were going to have the door from the movie. I don't know, at the museum.
Yeah. Totally.
Somebody was just talking about, I wonder if it was and this is where I'm bad with my memory, but I don't know if Gizmo brought that up, where it was him or somebody was like, I want 2 grown adults to go lay side by side on that door and just have like hashtag he could have fit or something like that.
Yeah. I would have tried to have fit Cody on the door.
There we go.
Episode, but I know they had it on Mythbusters.
If they could have done it,
would have worked or not? I didn't watch the episode, but I knew it was on there.
Yep. Oh, that's funny. All right, we'll blaze through some of these real quick. People saying hi to each other. Adam was saying VHS tapes, of course. Yep, I know he knows. I know you know. Saying hello. Thoughts on House of Wax?
Great movie. I love it.
Yeah, is this the one with Paris Hilton and
Yes.
I believe so, yep.
Lucky?
Yep.
I remember when that movie came out, I was obsessed with Jared Padalecki. He was in Supernatural at that time. And I loved that movie.
Yeah.
So this is another one I can get made fun of that I have sitting on the shelf that I have not actually watched before.
Check that one out. It's good. I'd recommend.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of people say that it was kind of funny. A couple people were saying because Paris Hilton was in it, they wanted to hate the movie, but they were like, I liked it. But it was like one of those things. I think she just had kind of a streak for a little while.
Yeah.
Yep. More people saying hi to each other. Cody and Emily love their Uncle Anwar.
Which movie is that from?
Oh, Blood Diner?
Yes, Blood Diner? We just watched that last night.
So what'd you think of it?
Oh,
I heard it was nuts.
Is Mel in here?
I know she loves it.
Yeah. It was okay.
It was not what I was expecting, and then I don't know. I didn't love it. I just was not a huge fan, unfortunately.
You gotta turn your brain a little bit.
I really wanted to.
You wanted to like it, but just didn't quite do it.
No, I was expecting like Blood Diner. I was like thinking, oh, it's gonna be like a little diner out in the middle of nowhere. They're gonna be killing people and serving them up, and it wasn't that. It's
okay. It's not really my cup of tea, but
I heard it was pretty wild.
There was some
interesting kills and stuff. So it's kind of
so that drove up my letterbox score just slightly, but
that's what helped it out there.
Plot was a little wacky.
Adam was saying Robo Jocks is hard to find film next to Dolls. Oh yeah, I knew that was one that hadn't seen. I think that's why that set was so popular. There were kind of cult classics back in VHS days, and they just didn't have any other releases after that, or not much. And it was just so hard to get a hold of them. And
yeah,
I think when they put
that Robo Jocks looks fun. I just haven't watched it yet. I like older cheesy movies like that.
It's got some cheese. I'll say that, but it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember renting it a few times when I was younger. Sarah saying hi to everybody. Love seeing that. Got Poor Things today. Okay. I have not watched that movie yet. I don't know if it's high on my list. I got a lot of other things, and that's nothing against it. Nothing against it. Did you have a blink?
Yes.
I saw a blink.
No, Poor Things is good though. I love that movie.
Yeah, it was great.
I've heard divisive. I've heard different opinions on them. Let's just say that.
Adam.
Definitely.
Adam was saying Poor Things the day after hunting.
Oh yeah, that's us all the time. But it's definitely really out there. But what is her name?
Emma Watson?
No, not Emma Watson.
The
lead actress.
Oh gosh, now I'm blanking on her name too. I can picture her right now.
Oh. Everybody's giving us crap in the comments.
Yeah. No, they are going to. Emma Stone. Emma Stone
was amazing in the movie, and she definitely deserved the award.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
So, and William Dafoe was in it, and yeah, it was an amazing movie. Honestly.
It was really good.
We'll see.
Of content, and that's why I know certain people.
Yeah, I heard it's not going to be a family movie I sit down and watch with my daughter.
With Haley.
Yeah, no Haley, please, from what I've heard.
Unique, and I like that because there's just so many movies these days that are just copy and paste. They just are exactly the same, and that one was definitely unique.
No, I hear you. I hear you for sure. Or Gary was asking about Wishmaster franchise. Have you dug into those much?
Just the first one.
Yeah,
I'm first one as well.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I know they have that set of the Vestron, I think.
That's what I have.
Yeah, that's what we have. He's trying to pull everything off the shelf right now.
No, you keep going. If I find it, I'll find it.
But yeah, we watched the first one, and it was good. I wasn't blown away by it.
Does that got 3 of them in there? Or how many is in?
Yeah, it's got 3. 4. That's a lot. 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like we had talked about maybe watching like a marathon, watching more than one. But it wasn't good enough that we wanted to just watch all back.
No, I can understand that. But Johnny was saying he's still out there trying to find more of those damn $5 steelbooks from Walmart.
You haven't had any luck in our local stores.
I keep finding Southpaw, but we already have that.
Mm-hmm.
So the only one in like 4 Walmarts close to me, I only found one originally, and it was Chaos Walking, I think was the one.
That movie's okay.
Because I think I posted it, and you were like, it's okay.
But 4K, $5 still book.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did find another big group of them, but it ended up, I had to be out of town like 2 hours away from where I live, and I was heading back, and I was like, this small town had a Walmart, and I'm like, whatever, I'll pull in there quick. And I start digging through the Big Ben, and the $5 bin, and I was about ready to give up because there were so many, and I'm just like, whatever. And then I hit something, and you just feel it a little different than a DVD case, and I'm like, what was that? And I pulled up one, and once I saw one, I'm like, I'm digging through this whole thing. I wonder how many people they just like stare at that, how go in there and just like figure out different methods to move all those DVDs around to try to find out if there's any steelbooks in there.
I usually do, but I ran across one recently that it was so packed that if you touched one movie, they were all falling off.
I hate it when they
I'm done. I'm not doing this one.
like you just pick one thing up and everything starts falling, and you're like, oh no.
That was today for me because I was kind of slightly out of town, and I knew somebody was looking for not the $5 one, but somebody was looking for the steel of American Psycho, that they never were able to get that. And I'm like, oh, I'd seen a few around here, and I was like, I'll keep an eye out. And I'm like, I was like, I'm pretty close. I'll stop in there. And luckily they had it in there, so I was able to get it for them. But I went and I'm like, oh, I'll go look and see in that $5 bin. And there was one of them, like it was literally, you couldn't, I've had some where it's pretty empty where you can like pile everything to one side and kind of dig in and then move it back over. This one was like that, where everything was just falling. And I was like, I'm good. I'm going to go. But
You could go get like an empty shopping cart and just start moving them there.
I have done that before and had so many people looking at me like, you crazy person, what are you doing? I did that. I had them all stacked up like in these big stacks in this like shopping cart next to it. And yeah, I'm sure I was getting made fun of pretty well there.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I gotta do it. Tony was saying I've not located any yet, Johnny. Okay. You probably have them already, Tony.
Probably.
He's still looking.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I love him. Van Gogh is saying, Johnny, I'm the same with the steelbooks. Yeah, it's so hit or miss. It's been weird. And then I'll see people just randomly like, just huge stacks. Like I felt like I found quite a few. Like so total now I'm maybe 6 of them. But then just today, Hagen, he has a channel, Hagen K, and he just posted one, and he had a bunch of other titles in his stack that I was like, there were ones I hadn't seen other people pull as a full $5 steelbook.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to even think which ones they were, but I just remember like, oh dude, wow, I think you got them all. It's like all of them I'd seen before, but then there was a couple others that I hadn't seen anybody else get. So that was cool.
In a picture earlier, he found Spiral and I think Chaos Walking. Spiral and Chaos Walking is the 2 he found.
Yeah.
Spiral one yet. I
haven't seen Spiral yet either, but Sarah was saying steelbooks. I have watched Kickboxer. Yep, that's a fun one. That's we're talking about VHS days earlier. That's a VHS day one for me. Johnny was saying I found several of ones I've picked up recently. Okay.
Yep.
Del was saying if the movie is good, 3 hours will fly by.
Most definitely.
True.
I think sometimes it's a mental block though. Like I'm like, oh, it's 3 hours. That seems so long.
Like you have it on your mind. You're like, okay, this is going to be 3 hours. Maybe if you went in and you didn't even look how long it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Johnny was agreeing with Dell, and we will get to our movie, I promise. But are you guys still good? We're kind of running through, just chatting. Are you guys still hanging in there? Okay.
Yeah.
Emily was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Emily was like, Cody, help me.
Please help.
Please help me. Make this weird guy go away. Tiana was saying, wait, Tony, you haven't found any either? That doesn't mean he doesn't have those movies. He just hasn't seen them for $5.
Make a profit.
So it was you, right, that found the Expendables steelbook for like.
So I do traveling for Walmart. I work at Walmart a lot. And so I went into one Walmart and it was $70. And then I went into another Walmart. We went to the clearance section and I found it for $20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I was like, sold.
Like, no question, buy that.
Yeah, 4 movies, 4K steelbook. Yeah, I'm walking home with this. Yeah.
And it's a cool looking steelbook too. I mean, I think. But
that's the part.
It looks nice.
Yeah. Oh, I did look when I was in this one again today, and all of them around me have always still been $70. And I'm like, no way for 70, but $20, I wouldn't even think twice. I'd grab that thing.
Next Walmart we went into, they had one on clearance for $55. So I already, got it for 20. And then every other store was $70. So it's a hit or miss which store you go to.
Yeah. Each one. So like I have 4 really close Walmart. Well, not really close, but I'm out in the middle of the country. So there's 2 towns equal distance from me, and one has 2. This one city has 2 of Walmarts, and the other one has 2. So out of those, it's just been hit or miss, and one of them still has like no steelbooks whatsoever. They're still kind of in a remodeling phase or something, and they don't even have they have no steelbooks. At least all of the rest of them, they might not have the $5 ones, but they at least have that little steelbook end cap thing, whatever you want to call it.
Which I'm loving, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to Halloween Kills, for easy vote for Dell.
Yep.
I agree. Basement Blue. Tony was saying nope, no of those $5 steelbooks around him. Sarah saying I got Godzilla versus Kong, American Psycho, Hunger Games, Little Monsters. Oh, cool. Those are all good ones. Good ones to have in the collection. Keanu saying, what's that?
The Little Monster one.
I've never seen it, but so you all, we're not getting into ages, but you're quite a bit younger than me. But is that one you grew up with and you have like nostalgia for?
I've actually not seen it, but I want to think that the steelbook looks cool.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
There's certain movies, and I know there's some when I was younger too that are horrible movies, but I just have good memories of them and the nostalgia. And like something comes out with a steelbook of it, I'm like, oh, I got to buy it. And other people are like, what? And I think that nostalgia just trumps anything.
Yes, there's certain movies like that for me too, like childhood movies. I'm like, there's just so many memories of watching this, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yep, absolutely. More love for Halloween Kills from Tiana and Johnny. Tony was saying, Sarah, yeah, we got a lot of pickups. Yep, lots of them. Those steelbooks add up, though. Yep, 5 new steelbooks. I got to pace myself out with those steelbooks. Unless they're $5, and I'll grab a stack of them. But
Right.
Tiana was, what's your favorite movie to watch of all time? Together. Oh, one that you watch together.
I don't know. What's our favorite movie to watch together?
That's a good question.
I
don't know.
We can circle back to it too if you need to.
Or
Or maybe, would this be any easier? Do you remember the first movie you saw together?
Yes, we do.
What's that?
Our first time we ever hung out together was going to a movie. We went and saw Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Nice. There
That's
you go.
Sure, you know what I'm saying?
He's willing to go to a Twilight movie.
I'd already seen it in theater with my friends, and he was just walking around, like, we worked together at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I really want to go see Breaking Dawn. And he's like,
oh, sure, it was Cody's idea.
It was Cody's idea. I'm getting a group together. Would you be interested in going?
It ends up being just him.
I was like, oh, well, I've already seen it, but I mean, you know, if you're going to group together, I mean, I'll be glad to go. And, you know, I had to change for the evening after work. And then he texts me and he's like, so it looks like everyone's backing out.
Okay, moment of truth. Was there ever a group that was going, or was it just going to be you?
I had halfway mentioned it, but not really invited them, just to have like a backup story. But yeah, there was no group.
Oh, man.
See, did you ever know that, Emily?
He's told me that before.
Okay.
He thought he did actually invite a couple people.
Well, he can't get in trouble for that because it was just he wanted to go out on a date with you to a movie, you know? So.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah, we got there and I was like, oh, so no one else is really coming. Okay.
So for me, with my wife, the very first movie we ever saw together, it was in a theater and it was Jerry Maguire.
Okay.
Yeah,
show me the money. Yeah.
Yep. Show me the money. So Jerry Maguire. So I'm showing my age a little bit, but we were in college. And that was
on Jerry Maguire.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, Jerry Maguire's probably a better movie. So.
Oh yeah.
But I would say that was probably one that wouldn't have been first. I enjoyed it. I'd say I enjoyed the movie, but that probably wouldn't have been. I would love to go back and see, like, look up what else was released around that same time to see what the choices were and what I was like. Oh yeah, we'll go see Jerry Maguire because I figured she'd go see it. Yeah, But no, that's funny. Sarah was saying, waiting for my mom's order. Cool. Those are Walmart. I got them Thursday. Cool. Very good. Yep. A lot of people doing a lot of fun. I'd like to see how much Walmart's getting from these sales, because I see lots of people out there shopping at it. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Hello.
Good to see you. People saying hi to Jeff. I love it.
My name is Jeff.
Jeff, and Jeffrey from Mom. I'm gonna start calling him Jeffrey. Maybe not. Then he's like, he won't respond to me anymore. Johnny was saying there were poor folk in the world at the time. Some of us had to rent Yeah, that was my family, man. We didn't.
When they came out,
Oh
right?
my goodness.
I wonder, Johnny, do you remember that? Were you just teasing me, or do you remember that? Like, I remember they'd have like a little case that you could carry the VCR out. And the VCRs weren't small then either. So it was we'd rent like 3 or 4 movies in a VCR. Yeah. They'd have like a little pack with like a shoulder strap on it. You'd carry it out with you. Seriously.
Nice.
Yep. And we paid with, we would chisel it in a stone tablet and tell them what movies we wanted and see how old we were. But no, I remember that. And that was a big deal. Like, it didn't happen all the time, but like, I remember a weekend when they were like, Mom was like, we'll take you in there. We'll rent a VCR and we can pick out, like, each of us would get to pick out, like, there was 3 of us kids and we'd each at least get to pick out one movie of our own. And then maybe one other that we all could agree on. And if we argued too much, you didn't get the 4th one, you know? So it's like, you learn not to argue so you could get an extra movie in. But
nice.
Mark saying hi to Jeff, saying hi to Mark. Sarah saying hi. Going saying hi. Dell was saying that was me talking about the Titanic door. Okay.
That was Dell.
Have you seen Rosemary's Baby?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That was all.
About a year ago, maybe. Like,
Yep.
we bought it on, well,
It was the last Halloween.
whenever it came out in 4K, we
Oh.
bought it and we watched it, and it was a good
I enjoyed
classic
it.
movie.
Yep. I haven't seen it in a long time. I have seen it, but it's been a long time. Sarah hasn't seen that. Adam, silly, cheesy nonsense is Blood Diner.
Yes.
Sounded
Oh,
like you agreed with that.
Yeah.
So much cheese.
Dell was saying so many people hated her. They wanted to see Paris Hilton die was actually part of marketing for House of Wax. She was a great sport about it. That's
awesome.
no, come see the movie. You can see her die. Oh, that's dark. That's dark.
Like, she dies, and they're like, okay.
We'll go see
We'll
it.
go.
That's so dark. Funny, but dark. But Johnny's saying Poor Things is amazing.
Yes.
100%.
That's great.
I know I'll see it sometime. I think it's on one of my streaming services now, like Hulu or something, I think. But
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's Hulu. You're right.
Laren loved Poor Things, and Emma Stone. That was when we couldn't remember the name. Thank you for jumping in there. That's like I'm way behind probably. Emma Stone has been mentioned. Won't be long before Tim shows up. Okay. Tim must like Emma Stone. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I know.
Is ready for Terminator 7.
Oh, last one wasn't great.
I didn't even see the last one. Whatever number that was. Was that 6? I have no idea.
Good.
Dale, most people either really love Poor Things or really hate it. And I agree. From what I've heard, talked with people, yeah, there's not oh yeah, it was okay. It was like very strong one way or the other. Like great or hated it.
It's just really different.
Yeah, I've heard that. Hey, Steve, thanks for jumping in. Probably was a half hour ago. Sorry, I'm slowly going through here. Jeff was saying my method is to take a cart back there and stack the bin into it. They overpile yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've done it before. And the one I had today, I had to have done it because I barely would move stuff. And like you said, Cody, it would just like start falling off. And I'm like, the first one hit the floor. I just picked it up and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Adam was saying best way when bid is full to bring empty cart. Yeah. Yep. Wait, and just leave it there. The priest like, oh, that's horrible, man.
Hey, they gotta get Paying by the hour?
I didn't read the whole thing, and then it just hit me. I was like, you just leave it in the cart next to it?
They need stuff to do.
I love you, Adam. You're hilarious. I love that.
Oh man.
I was nice enough to put it back in the thing the time I did it.
Somewhere out
That's
there, there's people watching. They're like, you guys.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew it started. I was watching a little bit Dell before I got on the live stream here, but Purdue just beat NC State. Cool. So they're going on to the championship. I knew we're competing against basketball and WrestleMania. It's a hard night. I didn't plan it right. Sorry.
You're good.
It's all right.
Adam leaves containers of cheese in his movie bins, so he knows when it's been tampered with. I love that. Sometimes I find weird things in those bins though when I dig through them. Like people will just randomly leave.
Bit here.
Yeah, but they'll like leave. Like today there was like a PS4 game laying in there, and I'm like, okay, that didn't start out there. And then another one I was really digging into. There was a water gun from the toy section that was like buried way deep in it, and I'm like, just like weird things like that.
Is when they have one that's not supposed to be $5 in there.
Yeah.
I had the Shrek like 5 movie pack in there the other day, and I was like, what a great deal. And then I have my Walmart app, so I scan the price and I'm like, oh, this is $26. So.
Yeah, I think people want to freak people out. So that's what you should do is like go throw that expendable steelbook in the $5 bin and see somebody get all excited. It's only $5. And then they go to the checkout and
I've
get
learned
all
that. Don't go to the checkout because they're like, that's not right. And they're probably not going to honor it. So
No.
yeah.
Not difference.
Dell was saying I found the Southpaw steelbook last year sometime, but none of the new ones.
Yep.
So this past summer or last year, gosh, it's already been last year's summer. Yeah. So, we did an Iowa meetup, and when we were going through some Walmarts, we were digging through one of the bins with, there was a bunch of us, and, I found the Southpaw steelbook in the $5. It was Southpaw American Assassins, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I still haven't watched it. And was it the Terminator 2 and Total Recall double pack? It was a steelbook and a slipper. It used to be a Target exclusive.
Okay. I got the Total Recall one in the $5 bin, but not the double pack.
Double pack. So that was kind of cool. And it had kind of a lenticular cover on it. But yeah, so that was a cool find from there. But yeah. So they've done it before, but just not, I think, at the level that they're doing it right now. But have you gotten to the Exorcist franchise?
Watched the first, the third, and the new one sucks. So there's that.
I haven't seen the first one. I almost bought it because they were like, one day I was joking and I kind of posted, they were like about giving it away at Best Buy before they were getting rid of the physical media. They had it really discounted.
Wait, hold on.
You haven't seen the original?
No. I probably said that way wrong.
Okay.
If I said the original, I didn't mean that. This is where I get mixed up. Sorry. What's the newest one called?
The Beginning.
The Believer?
Oh, The Believer.
Is that Exorcist Believer? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have not seen that. I have seen the original. I have not seen the second, but I've seen the third.
I haven't seen the second one. I heard it.
Same.
I heard stay away from the second one.
Okay. So
I found a steelbook, the original Exorcist steelbook at Orbit last week. I was really excited.
okay. Sorry. I misspeak all the time. Like when I read things too. So, but no, first and third I've seen, and then the second, and then the newest one that came out.
Did not like.
Well, I've heard a lot of people were like, nah, but that was the one that Best Buy was about giving away at one point. There was a steelbook of it, but I almost bought it because I was like, the steelbook kind of looked kind of cool, but
No.
Adam was saying, I scan them every time now because of price differences per store. Crazy how much difference there is. Yeah. Well, and I don't know if Walmart will do this, but one time or a couple times, Tiana was saying, Odell, that steelbook looks awesome. Yep. Like when Best Buy was doing movies, I had found where sometimes the website was cheaper than the store,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to do a price match to their own website. And that threw me off a couple times, but I'm like, whatever. Let's see here. I know we got well, I'm going to skip through some of these. So I apologize, people, if I'm missing any of these. I know I'm keeping these two so long. And, but Gizmo was saying I named the mouse Rose and it will not have any door to save it. I will do what Leo should have done. You're funny. We'll try to hit a couple of these real quick here, and then I'm going to put a pin in it, and we'll get going to our movie here because we're almost an hour and a half in, and I'm holding up to my word of jabbering. What's that?
It's such a good conversation.
Oh, no, I'm having fun. That's where maybe someday I'll just change the name of the show and drop talking about a movie and just hang out and talk because that's about what I do anyway. But all right, let's see here. I'm just seeing if anybody else came in to say hi. And then I'll put Craig, hi. Thanks to see you. Good to see you in here. Collector Movie Maniac. Hello to the three in chat and chat. Just popping in to say hello. I'll try to watch back later. Have a great night. Thank you. We got Texas in here. Texas, how we doing, sir? He's got some new live streams rolling out. He's getting into the game. It's kind of fun. I've seen him in other people's, but he's got some rolling out on his own channel, so that's kind of cool to see. Awesome. Little nerve wracking. I still get flustered, but hey.
Yeah.
Did you find that when you did it for the first time, the live stream where you were just kind of, it's a little different, or at least for me, it was a little different than I expected.
Yeah, it was different, but I will also say that the first live stream I was ever on was on Bob's stream for the Steelbook Challenge. And
okay.
I was never Shrek. Like, yeah, I was just awkward. It was weird. It was cool though. After about 10 minutes, you're good, but it was really uncomfortable.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No, sometimes it's nice to have people have you in their live streams first. You're still nervous and a wreck, but you're not having to try to run everything else. You just have to worry about mute and unmute.
Yeah, exactly.
So, nope, cool. Mark was saying just getting the kiddos to bed and been in and out of chat. Well, no, I appreciate any time you're hanging out here. Absolutely. Saying hi to mom as well. Guy, how we doing? Hey there, everyone. Please hit the like button for these incredible people. Thank you.
Hey, man.
So like I said, if I skip anybody's, I apologize. I'm going to run through just real quick to see if I've missed anybody that's newer that has dropped in the chat. Because there's a lot of these saying hi. Dell said he has to cut out. Enjoy yep. Thanks for stopping in for a bit, Dell. We always love having you around. And Gizmo was saying Madam Web is the best movie to come out in 2024. And I know he's being full of it right now because he pretty much hates all new movies and he likes to be sarcastic. So there we go.
It's not great, but I liked it a little bit.
All right. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to put a pin in right there. So right. We're good. We're good. We didn't even hit an hour and 30 minutes yet. It's hour 28. Look at us. Look at me. Look at me ahead of schedule. Right. We didn't hit 2 hours, and we're going to start looking at the movie that we're going to talk about tonight. A Simple Plan. We're actually talking about a movie tonight.
There you go.
Nobody would have guessed, but so this is a rewatch for me. And I know it was for you too, Cody. It's been a while for me, but, Emily, this was a first time watch for you, wasn't it?
It was. I have never watched this one.
Okay. So we were throwing out a couple movies, looking at them. What made you decide that was one that you were willing to check out? Did you look at a trailer? What got you into it?
So I think you had thrown out like 3 or 4 options, and this one just seemed like it would be the most up my alley out of the ones you had put out.
Cool. So it wasn't an action movie, so we were good with that. So that was all right. But
sci-fi I'm iffy on. I think one of them was a zombie movie, and I'm not really huge on zombie movies. So.
Okay.
This is a good movie. So
yeah, absolutely. So I was just bringing up in IMDb. So A Simple Plan came out in 1998, and I'm just going to read here. This just says 3 blue-collar acquaintances come across millions of dollars in lost cash and make a plan to keep their find from the authorities, but it isn't long before complications and mistrust weave their way into the plan. So that kind of sums it up right there. But I don't know, just jumping into it. First, I guess looking at the cast, I thought they all did a great job. I had a good time with you got Bill Paxton, you got Billy Bob Thornton, you got Bridget Fonda. how'd you feel about the acting overall between, like, those were our three main characters. I know I'm blanking on the guy's name. There was the Lou.
What was his name? I wrote it down. Hold on a second. Brent Bisco or
Bisco.
Yeah.
Lou? Yeah.
So those are the four that we pretty much follow for the most part in this movie. But how did you feel about the acting all around? How did you connect with them?
I guess I'll start off. First off, I think they all did a great job, but I think Billy Bob Thornton kind of stole the show for me. His character is just kind of quirky. Has a lot of good little, if you really listen, little hidden jokes and comments in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's absolutely hilarious in the movie, and he kind of gets some emotional parts in the movie, and I think he did a great job.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought the performances were great. Obviously, Bill Paxton, he's always amazing in my opinion. And then Billy Bob Thornton, he actually was nominated for an Academy Award. I looked and saw that for this movie. And like he said, he just has a lot of strong emotional moments in this movie. Starting out the movie, I kind of was not too sure about his character, like, you know, from a moral standpoint. And then by the end of the movie, he takes you to like a whole different place. Like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, we can get. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they all did a great job, but I think, like you both are kind of saying that, I think he kind of stole the show in the movie. His character, like you said, and that was the thing that was kind of, I mean, ends up being like kind of heartbreaking for him. Is he was such an innocent guy, you know.
He's kind of the slow one in the movie. Even though he's really smart and catches on to stuff, he's the slow one. Bill Paxton's the smart one, and then Lou's the town drunk.
Right.
So.
I misread him completely at the beginning of the movie. I thought he was kind of shady. You know, he was kind of the one that brought up, you know, the money and like, let's take it and everything. And then towards the end of the movie, you're like, wow, he's kind of the sweet guy.
Yeah,
you know, I kind of misread it all together at the beginning. So,
and I kind of forgot. I'm going to put my little spoiler stream up right now since we're talking about the movie.
Gosh,
throw my spoilers and no spoilers. You haven't said any spoilers. I'm just going to throw it out there so nobody gets. We're talking free and clear now. Anything about the movie. So anybody that doesn't want to hear that, you can pause it, mute it, come back in a little bit. But anyway, just throwing that out there. But I love this. So right off the bat, one thing I thought was kind of cool about the movie is there was a lot of foreshadowing, I think, of what was kind of going to happen with this group. So like right off the bat, when they're going out into the woods, the three of them, before they find the plane, there's the crows. There's all the birds that are around there. And I was writing down some notes. I always got to look at them. But there was like one thing that Billy Bob Thornton's character threw out there. But right off the bat, I had there was the fox going around the farm, checking out the hen house, you know, looking at and there's just so many little visual things that are thrown in there to kind of foreshadow what's going to maybe be happening later. So, you know, there's the fox lurking around trying to see if it can get one of the hens out of the hen house. And then there was Bill Paxton's character was doing a little voiceover at the beginning. It was kind of like, you know, my dad always said, you know, to be happy in life. And he kind of threw out a couple things like have a good job, have a good wife, have good neighbors, work hard, you know, and be respected. And he was kind of like, I didn't realize I had all the things to be happy at that time.
Right.
Basically. And that kind of hit me because there's so many times it's easy to get into our lives and be like, oh, I'd be happy if I could have this, or if I could just have that, or just a little bit more. And I fall into it. I think all of us do, you know, at certain points, but that foreshadows what you end up seeing happen through the rest of the movie. That's him looking back of, I didn't realize at the time I was happy. And I
didn't need all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He seems really happy right there at the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
Like, he didn't need anything else. And then
that happens.
You kind of see that happen.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a steady job. It's nothing glamorous, but he's got a good steady job. He's been able to provide for his family. His wife, has got a wife that's soon to be having their, first child. Just have a lot of good things going on. And yeah, no, that was the thing that kind of hit me. But then what was it? I was talking about the birds. I think it was Billy Bob Thornton's character when they're going out into the woods. They notice all those crows, those blackbirds out there, and he just said something about the birds that he was. They're always waiting for something to die, so they can eat. He's like, "What a strange job."
Yeah,
it just made me laugh a little bit. But then there's so many things like with the fox, and then those crows, and making that comment, and there's all the people that are involved with this kind of start falling into some of those roles of like, what can they get, and waiting for somebody to die, that kind of comment, kind of struck me a little bit, but
his chair.
Oh, a long time. It'll start scooting down.
Mine will do that too. I'll probably be a little shorter here in a little bit too. Yeah. Every once in a while I got to like get up and hit the handle and let it up a little bit, but nope, I'll do that too. So, so they go out into the woods, they come across this plane that's like crashed out in the middle of nowhere, pull out this big bag of money basically. So there's the three of them sitting there, and it becomes the conversation of what are we going to do? This huge bag of $100 bills that we just pulled out of this plane. And that's where it got interesting. Some of the mix of the characters there. So there was already a little bit of tension, I think, between the group, because there's Bill Paxton's character, and I probably could look up their actual names in the movie, but Hank. Yep. Hank. And then his brother, Billy Bob, Jacob, and then Lou, that Brent. So Jacob and Lou are drinking buddies, kind of simpler people, nothing bad, but they're just, I think there was always some tension of Hank, Bill Paxton's character, that he was the one that went to college, and whether there was some tension of like thinking he was better than.
And there's a lot of comments throughout the movie about Jacob and Lou don't have jobs, and works all the time, and he has a job, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And, oh, you're throwing out these big fancy words, when you're talking to us, and you think you're better than us. And I think that right off the bat just throws a weird dynamic into that group of people. Yep. So they look at the money, and I know Hank, Bill Paxton's character, right off the bat, he's like, we got to call this in. We got to turn it in. And I think it was Lou. And then Jake was soon after that, where he was like, well, hang on a second. You got people that are on some harder times, and you'd like to think you'd always do the good thing, but you end up finding out there's like over, it was like $4 million in this huge duffel bag that's sitting there, and it's more money they've ever seen before and they'll probably ever have in their life. And you got it just sitting right there. And then the wheels start turning of like, well, is somebody looking for this? Maybe not. Would it even go missing? If we took this and did something. And then you slowly see people all kind of coming together for a moment to maybe go down that path. And, I guess, what did you think, like right off the bat, when that was starting to come together? Were you just like, nothing good's going to come out of this, or?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that much money, like, I think you always know, like, someone's going to be looking for this. But it was interesting to me just the way the characters reacted. Like Hank, Bill Paxton's character, was the responsible one. Like, he's like, oh no, we got to turn this in. Like, you got to work for your money, you got to work hard for the American dream. And then the other two guys, of course, don't have a job. They're like, oh no, like, we got to keep this money. This is dirty money. And just to kind of going forward to see how things change, it was interesting. But
and later on down the road, he's the one that kind of gets really involved in the whole situation. Even though he was the one that was like, no, we didn't turn this in, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Hank, Bill Paxton's character. Yeah.
He starts out the movie, like, I was like, this is the good guy. Like, he's the one that's really going to be responsible and take the high road. But, I mean, obviously, this is going to turn out to no good. Like, these pilots of the plane, that crash, like there's obviously something going on here that they had this much money.
Oh yeah. And right off the bat, when greed starts playing a role into something, so like that brings Hank into like starting to consider doing this. It can go down a lot of different routes, when you start getting greedy like that. And then I know he had this big grand plan of like, well, we can't just take it and like just start living crazy because people are going to suspect something. And if somebody's looking for a bunch of money, you're going to probably start figuring out pretty quickly who it is. And he's like, well, we should just sit on the money. We should just sit on it, wait till spring, let them find the plane. If people come looking for it, we'll burn it, get rid of it, whatever. But if nobody is, we could split it up at that time and, and go from. Yeah. And I could see where he was like trying to be smart with it. But I was like, that's going to be a recipe for disaster right there. When one person is holding, and he basically was like, I'll hold the money. Yeah. And I think that threw some people off too. Jacob and Lou, because they were like, oh, you don't trust us. Why? Yeah, no, he didn't. And so when you have that thrown in your face, I'm sure that doesn't go over real well. And if somebody's holding all the cards, so to speak, if it has all the money and then there's this distrust anyway, tensions are just going to continue to build, because whether they think he's going to do something stupid with the money, like, or not stupid, but in their eyes, stupid with the money, like turn it in or run off with it himself, what have you. Yep. I'm just like that. That was a good storytelling there to set up a good pressure cooker. I thought, like it's just going to build tension between them that is already there to another level. But, I feel like I'm talking way too much. I apologize if you guys want to jump in at all on it, but
story out.
But is there any part of the movie, not to have to go down through the whole story of it, and we'll hit on some different parts of it, but are there any parts of this movie that stood out more to you that just like wow, that really hit hard, or like that really caught me off guard, or, and if there's not, that's fine too. I just, there's one I was thinking of.
Well, for me, going back to the plane, because, even though Hank told them not to tell their wives the situation, and he goes home and tells his wife immediately.
I wrote that down too.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of notes right here.
Yeah.
And then she starts, overthinking everything. And so we need to take some money back. And then he doesn't even put it back in the original bag. He puts it in the trash bag and takes his brother with him. And then that whole situation, I don't know if you want to talk about that or not.
Oh, we can talk about whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Then that guy shows up, and next thing you know, there's a dead body involved in the situation. So now they're a part of that.
That was a big mistake. I mean,
and it's just, this movie, we'll go step by step, but it's literally like one mistake after another.
Yep.
Yeah, honestly, involving the wives, it's strange for me to say that. But for them, that was probably a mistake. I feel like Hank's wife, Sarah, I feel like she had her own issues. I was very shocked probably by the way she reacted. Yep. I thought, she was going to be like, no, we can't do this. Like, we got to go turn in that money.
And she kind of was like Hank at first.
Yep.
First.
And then switched like Hank did, where she's like, no, this is our money. We need to,
I feel like I would just be a nervous wreck. I would not be able to.
Yeah, she would tell me to turn it in.
Have that on my conscience. But just the way she was acting and the things she suggested throughout the movie, I thought was, I don't know. I just couldn't believe the way she was acting and suggesting things. And
she kind of, in a lot of ways, made the situation worse.
Way worse. Way worse. A lot of the fallout that was happening throughout was kind of her stemming from her suggestions that she was making. So I think that kind of shocked me a lot.
No, I agree completely. And so as soon as you said that, Cody, and both of you said that with, it threw me off. I do agree with that where, Hank was like, don't tell your wives, we can't hit, or your wife, you know, we can't, anybody else involved with this. And he, yeah, but he like first thing he walks in there and I agree. She was like, no, I would turn it in. Cause he was trying to play like, what would you do if you know, hypothetically. And she's like, no, you got to turn it in. And then he like just dumps it all out on the table and her wheels start turning a lot differently when all that cash is sitting there. But I think that was the thing that hit me the most is she went pretty cold with the whole thing. Like she started getting into like, you got to do this and this to cover up your tracks. And then she's throwing out ideas of like, you got to get people on your side, you know, and pulling between the group and yeah. So that was the thing that really struck me is how quickly she went to kind of a darker, like you said, manipulating the situation.
Yeah.
And when you were saying that, like, it was a mistake to tell the wives, it wasn't necessarily it was wives. It's just in a situation like that, I think it was like a mistake to tell anybody more than you had to tell. You know, the more people you involved, the more chances something was going to go wrong or somebody would talk or somebody would do something. And
I kind of like that about this movie because, you know, Hank and Jacob are brothers.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be kind of a close bond. You know, you keep the secret really close, but then you have this friend that's really Jacob's friend, not really Hank's.
He's a loose cannon.
And he's found drunk that talks a lot and does crazy stuff. And he's now a part of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that this movie a little more out there and things go a little crazier than they should.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's where, you know, ratchets up where he starts gambling more and starts demanding money earlier than they were planning on waiting to, you know, split up the money and just, yeah, it just keeps ratcheting up as the story goes along. And, no, I thought they did a really good job with that and nothing seemed like too crazy, like way out there, but there was just like, okay, what else could go wrong, you know, with this situation? But everything to me was very believable that, you know, like people could, or go ahead. Sorry, I cut you out there.
Until the end. I think the whole movie was kind of believable until certain things that happened at the end. I thought that was a little far-fetched. And they could have done that a little bit differently.
Yeah. No, I can see what we can get into that too, but yeah, I think I know what you're talking about and I can see what you're saying.
But that first night when they find the money and then they decide to stay there and count it on the road, which was stupid. And then the cop goes up and Jacob and Lou decide to tell the cop, you know, did you hear about the plane?
Right.
And I'm just like, why? Why did you do that?
That was one of those moments where it was like, okay, Jacob is not the brightest.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And I know Hank, he was like, at that moment, he just was like, no, I don't think so. Was it? And it's like,
we just
why would you? Yeah. And it's like, why would you offer up anything more than you have to, you know, at that point and just get out of that situation? But no, I agree. It's like they're out on even if it's a kind of an isolated country road, it'd be kind of an odd thing to be like, okay, we just found this huge bag of money and we're going to count it in the back of our truck out in the middle of nowhere.
Home and then count it. It's not very smart.
No, not at all. But
just stupid decisions that were made.
No, absolutely. So like we were saying, there were so many steps through this whole process that just kind of dug them in deeper, got them further into trouble basically, or like exposing them even more. Do you felt, I know you were hinting at the end of it, but was there anything else that you were like, that, I don't know. Is there anything you would change of the movie? I guess, I don't know if that's going too far into it, but
I would change, the aspects of the ending probably of how that came together.
Okay. Do we want to dig into that now or like talk about anything else and then hit that before? I'm fine either way.
Go to that or what?
I don't know if we want to skip to the ending unless you're ready to wrap it up.
Oh, no. I'm good. I'm good to go. We're good. We're still good. I mean, that's where we can hold on to that for just a little bit and circle back to it.
I don't know that I would change anything. But you were talking about anything that shocked you
Mm-hmm.
we go back to that. I would say the wise behavior, but also the one thing that really kind of shocked me was they were talking about going back to the plane and how silly that was obviously we're having the spoiler alert on the bottom, but
yep, got it going.
the action he took, Hank, after Jacob knocked out the guy, just the action he took, by knocking out the guy or smothering the guy. Like I just
the guy woke up and he said, "You need to call the police. Your brother hit me." So he decides, you're talking about my brother, obviously. If you tell him about this, then we're gonna get busted about the money. So he kills him, and then they cover up that track.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, in that moment, I was like, okay, Hank is fully
into this.
There's no coming back for him. Like he's went to the dark side. Greed is fully taken over. He does not want to be found out.
Right.
And right then wanted to cut it. He's like, "Nope, we need to tell them the truth, blah, blah, blah. I did this. You don't have to be involved." And he's like, "Nope, I'm involved too. I actually killed him." So
that's where you kind of see his character fully take a turn from where he was at the beginning of the movie, where he's like, family man, I'm happy. I don't need anything else. We should turn the money in, to now where he's like the complete opposite.
He's killing people to cover it up.
He's killing people to cover everything up. And it's just like his mindset has completely changed to where his brother, was kind of like, oh, let's keep the money. Now he's like, what are you doing? Like, insane. So that was the movie.
No, I could see that. Like you said, he was the one that originally was like, no, there's no way we can keep this money. We got to turn it in. And then he goes to the point of, and not saying it's any better, but it wasn't a stranger. This was like a person they knew that was a farmer around that, they probably knew very well because it was a small community.
Yeah,
and
I didn't even know. I didn't catch on to that, but yeah, they knew who he was. That's even crazier.
Yeah. So not right either way, but when he gets to a point where there's a man that he's probably known all his life, that they grew up around there farming and knew this guy, knew his family, and he was willing at that point that, he was afraid he was going to go to the cops because his brother hit him over the head. They originally thought he was dead, but he was just knocked out. But then he was willing to kill him.
Great. That's great. No. We need you dead.
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, good, he didn't die. And then was like, we should just make something up. But I think there was like a constant talk about Jacob. I think, and I can't remember if it was before that or after, but he made comments of like, basically like, promise me they won't send me away, not just to jail, but I think whether he was worried about, we talked about, he's in the movie, he's a little slower, and whether he's been potentially going to, a home or something at some point, and just wanted to make sure he didn't have to do something like that. And I don't know if his brother, at that point was worried that whether they could cover it up and be like, oh, it was an accident, he just freaked out for a second and hit you. That would push something over the edge where even if they didn't get caught with the money, that he would have to go somewhere, an assisted living or something of that sort.
Right.
Yeah, I started picking up on that more and more throughout the movie, that Jacob, his character, he's not just kind of a guy that doesn't have a job, maybe a little bit of a deadbeat. He actually has some issues that kind of go deeper than that. So, like, I think later in the movie they were talking about like he's never been in a relationship, never kissed a woman or anything. So I think he's definitely had some issues throughout his life.
Yeah, and I think that there was part of that that conversation that they had, just what you were talking about right there, Emily. But there's a couple pieces that started. I don't know, that you kind of see the phrase in the relationship of the two brothers, of growing up, and there were some things that like that Jacob knew that Hank didn't know. There were some things that with troubles with their family farm that ended up getting sold off, and some truths about their dad that had passed away, of him committing suicide instead of just passing away, and Hank didn't. And so there's like so many things that started coming out where Jacob knew and was able to handle those. But then when Hank started finding out that he was the one that couldn't handle, he just didn't know a lot of that stuff.
That's because Jacob was, I think, there the whole time and his parents took care of him, and Hank was off going to college for 4 years and things like that. So
yeah. Yeah, and I think that was more of that tension that was building up too, where I think Jacob always felt like he was going to get the family farm. They basically went bankrupt pretty much, and the father basically, that was his last ditch effort, I think, to get some money for the family. He was trying to make it look like an accident so there'd be insurance money, but that's where Jacob kind of threw at Hank, was like, where do you think all this money was spent? You know, you were 4 years in college and you know how expensive that is to do that. And I think there was just more and more of that tension that was building between the two of them. And I don't know, I felt for the situation.
yeah, and Hank's whole plan the entire time was, after the summer, if nothing ever happened, they would just take the money and they would all run away. But wanted to stay back and build the farm back up.
Yeah, he's like, that's my home. Like, I don't want to leave it. And, you know, his wife, Hank's wife, was like, no, we've all got to get out of here, you know, which, you know, felt kind of selfish, obviously. But, I mean, they were trying to be smart about it. But really, Jacob, you can see he has a big heart. You know, he really just wanted to develop the family farm and just do something meaningful with his part of the money. So,
no, I hear you. And that's what's, I don't know, that was a sad situation with that whole thing. And that's where I think his wife was starting to turn a little darker too, where she was like, if he stays back, if anybody stays back, that's one more thing that could happen, one more tie that can tie us to this money, you know, if somebody comes looking for it. And I don't know, you saw her go darker and darker, I think, through some of that. And some of her kind of almost contention against, like, almost like she was better than that small town or the people that were there, and kind of turning her nose up a little bit.
Which, if you put yourself in that situation, like we were, if it was the three of us, wouldn't it be more suspicious if all three of us left the town and stayed back and just kind of, you know, spent the money slowly and built your house up or whatever, you know? Like, I was kind of putting myself inside the situation. I'm like, if you run away, if all three of you run away, then that kind of puts suspicion up.
Yeah, you would think so. It'd be kind of odd, like, for three people that have grown up there pretty much their whole life and are living around there.
Here, they would come.
You work at a feed store and your wife works at a library, and you just moved away to the Bahamas. Like, okay.
Yeah,
obvious that his wife was not truly happy, because she said, you know, okay, I'm just gonna have to stand here and scan books for the rest of my life. And just, she was kind of going on a rant where she was just talking about all the things she didn't want to have to do. So
that was
unhappiness there that was under the surface
that she just wasn't talking about or letting him know. Cause that was another thing I wrote down too, where she it's exactly what you were talking about, where she just started saying, like, am I going to have to work at the library and put on this fake smile every day of my life and pretend to be happy? And I was like, dang, I was like, okay, that's getting really cold, where he was probably like, okay, I didn't know we were this unhappy. I didn't know you hated it so much.
A lot of ugly things, I feel like, in people.
Oh yeah. So the greed, I think that's the whole thing with the movie, when they were having all those images of, like, the fox trying to kill the hens, or those crows, and they were talking about, oh, that's such a funny job, you know, sit around and wait for something to die to eat. And it was kind of like they were turning into those predators, like each one of them in their own way. And each of them were getting, go ahead.
I didn't catch on to that. That's really good.
So deep, Corey.
Look at me. Look at me. I just happened to.
You're right.
What's it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Don't give me too much credit. You're going to give me too big of a head. But
But no, you are right. I didn't catch on to that.
But if you watch, I just happened to notice, they kept on, the fox a couple times came back into the situation, but then throughout that, they showed those crows, the blackbirds, quite a bit, you know, throughout the rest of it. And it was always kind of like in situations where stuff was kind of starting to happen. But I thought that was a good job with it. And I know we didn't even hit on this, but Sam Raimi was the director of
I was thinking, we haven't talked about that yet.
And I love Sam Raimi. This is kind of, not saying it's really out of his ballpark, but it's different than his other stuff. Like you got Evil Dead, Spider-Man, you know, all kinds of Drag Me to Hell, and then you got this.
I'll say it was the first time I saw it, I'm going to say I didn't connect him with anything. I didn't really know who he was. So when I first saw it, it was in the theater.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have, so going back to, before we decided to watch this, I knew he directed it, but for the longest time, I just didn't even know that was within his filmography. And it is kind of a different one for him, but I almost think that Spider-Man was kind of a different one for him to kind of do it too a little bit, but
do a little bit of everything, seems like.
yeah. So it's kind of crazy where, yeah, he's hit some pretty different genres with his movies, from horror to this was, I mean, you're like suspense thriller kind of a movie, a drama, whatever you want to call it. And then he's done superhero movies and, but yeah, I think I'm trying to think, I need to go back through his filmography and see if he's done anything else that's kind of along these lines. I don't know if this is like an outlier for him or not.
I wrote down some movies just so I, you know, because I blink
Yeah.
live streams, but he did The Evil Dead, Darkman, which is fantastic. The Gift, he did that movie.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Which one? There's two of them.
Oh, is there?
Is it the one with Keanu Reeves? Or the one with
Jason Bateman?
I think this is the one with Jason Bateman. I could be wrong though.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm not gonna, I don't know for sure.
That's more on the lines of this movie, I would say, than his, you know, Spider-Man, Evil Dead, Drag Me to Hell, the Doctor Strange newest one that he came out with.
Mm-hmm.
You could look it up.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be more on the lines of The Gift, kind of suspenseful kind of situation.
Yeah. No, I could see that. But yeah, no, I thought he did a great job with it, but I don't know why, but when I'm looking back at it and thinking that he's the director of it, and not anything against any of the other movies, I like a lot of his other movies he's done, but there's just, for some reason, right off the bat, it seems like an outlier almost a little bit for him to do.
Well,
But it's probably kind of cool in that situation where he can do some different things and not just be stuck in one genre of, you know, movie making. But so anyway, I didn't mean to like go off on a side.
I actually had the director Sam Raimi on the top because I love Sam Raimi. I love everything he does.
It's a different The Gift.
Oh, it is The Gift?
Yes.
Okay, I'm wrong. It's a different one.
2000.
Was it the one with Keanu Reeves?
You're like, let's figure out. So it is Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Yep. Reeves.
Yep.
I have not seen that.
There's a lot of title, I guess.
Yeah. We still good?
Yeah, I'm going to step away for a second. I got to plug in the phone.
Okay. No, I'll let you go ahead and do that.
We're on power mode.
Well, I'm chatting at you too much here, making your battery run out.
No, that's okay.
I can kind of run down here. I know I'm like way behind on. I kind of see if anybody else bopped in and chat, and everybody in the chat, I appreciate you jumping in. I know we've been talking about the movie here for a little bit, and I know there's a lot of back and forth here, and I might not hit everything right here, but we will jump back in and say hi to people and see what's being chatted about. But
I'm curious if everyone else or a lot of people have seen this movie.
That's what I'm trying to look through to see if there's a lot of talk about it. Tiana says she's never seen it before. I would say it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good.
I'm trying to see if anybody else is hitting on the movie. There's a lot of highs. Laren is saying Thornton's so good. I agree. And I think all three of us have said that on this one earlier, right? That we kind of thought he stole the show with the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
Or
Always so good.
Kiana's adding it to her watch list. K-Man saying Simple Plan is on Pluto, just FYI. Yep.
Yes, it is. We ended up buying it because we were like, I don't know, I think Pluto has commercials.
Yep.
But it is a free option, so can't complain too much about it.
Yep. Everyone have seen the Simple Plan. This comes from the only person outside America in chat, probably. And if you have not seen it, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Right, Gizmo? No, it's a definite recommend. I guess not to jump ahead and like spoiler alert, but I would definitely say, I'd say this is a strong recommend for me to people to go watch.
We're a little crooked, but we're back.
We're back.
That's all right. I'm usually a little crooked myself, so in different ways. Sorry, I was going to mark it here. We can maybe hit back to the movie, but we'll jump back into the chat here in a second. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure out a good way to like talk through the movies without just like retelling the whole thing. I've enjoyed exactly what we're doing right now too. But you know, there's a couple things when there was a couple lines too, when we were talking about things that caught us off guard. You know, we've each talked about some moments that really jumped out at us. There were some lines in it too that really jumped out at me. I'm trying to find them really quick, but like one, I think it was Hank talking to his wife, where I think it came out what happened with that neighbor, what we were talking about earlier. And he was basically like, does it scare you that I killed him? Yeah. And she's just, and that was like one of those reactions too, that was a little more chilling than him actually saying it. Or are you remembering that as well?
I feel like everything about, like I said, everything about her, the way she reacted and the way that she kind of took on the situation shocked me. Like, I feel like if Cody came to me and was like, hey, does it bother you that I killed someone? I mean, I like, yeah, like, I'm shocked that you have that in you just to kill someone like that. But she was just kind of like, yeah, you know.
That's okay. We just need to find a way to cover it up. It's
yeah. Okay. It's cool.
Yeah. I kind of got that too. She was just like, oh, no. I mean, it was kind of like it went right back to the thought of the money. And she was like, no, you were just doing what you thought you needed to do to protect us. No, you're good, kind of a thing. And then it's like, wait a minute, we need to do these things to cover tracks, kind of a thing. And I don't know, there were some of those moments that are kind of chilling when you see I don't know why, but the reaction some people have to certain situations was more chilling to me than what actually happened. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, human behavior is really crazy.
Yep.
Why sometimes.
Man, there was one other one too that, this is going more towards the end. Not that we have to get into the whole ending yet, but just so I don't forget it. But another one was Jacob talking to Hank, like way towards the end when things are really just starting to go down. And, he was like, Hank, do you ever, what did he say? He was basically along the lines of like, Hank, do you ever feel evil? And he goes, I do. He goes, I feel evil, you know, like everything that's just been piling up. And Jacob you could tell it just finally went too far for him. And
yeah.
I mean, multiple times through the movie, I think it was leading up to that. And he was kind of like tried to stop it at multiple points too, even though he was one of the original ones that was like, yeah, we should keep the money. But you could just see the toll that it was taking on him and the guilt and the remorse that he was feeling. And he just was like, I can't deal with this anymore. And that hit me pretty big too.
Yeah, it takes a toll. That type of stress and just having to keep a secret. I mean, I'm sure for a lot of people, you just feel like it's not even worth it.
Yeah. Well, I think the stress of just them having the money and the tension between them, but then, I mean, you add in murder, you add in, you know, a lot of other things into the situation. And, yeah, you could just tell he was like finally kind of getting to the breaking point of the whole thing. So that's where it kind of gets down to also, do you want to kind of get into that ending a little bit or?
So we mentioned a lot about the wife.
Yeah. Go.
The wife wanting to kind of get involved, and she has all these ideas. She's the one that brings in the whole, you need to record Lou admitting to murdering that guy, which he was the only one that had nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
It was him and Hank. So she's the one that comes up with the idea about recording them. So then Hank wants to pretend to be this nice guy, which doesn't even like Lou the entire movie.
Right.
Drinks and things like that, and then brings Jacob involved in that. I thought that was kind of like the big next shocker moment of the film.
Which I didn't understand why that was even really necessary.
Well, that way, if it came about where they found some evidence that involved Jacob or Hank, then they would be like, no, we have proof right here, says Lou. Lou said he did it. Which doesn't make any sense, but in their mindset, it did.
So they weren't going to go to the police that next day.
No, it was just like, we have something on him, because they didn't trust him.
Gotcha. I thought they were going to go to the police and just turn him in or something. Because I was thinking, it seemed like an open shut case. They were like, oh, it was an accident. He fell off the bridge.
No.
So I was like, why are they even taking the time to do that? But
yeah. No, absolutely. That's where some of it got a little convoluted. Like that whole, like, I could kind of see her a little bit, the point when earlier in the movie we were talking about where she's like, put back some of the money. So if they come across it and find out something was going down, they'll think the money is still there, you know, or whatever, if they don't know how much was in it. But even that was kind of a stretch. But I think when you get to get a recorder and get him confessing to the murder, and that would completely give them a get out of jail free card, you know, if something came out. Cause I think at the same point, at that point, you'd be like, okay, you probably knew about it, and then why didn't you come to the authorities earlier? Either way, it was just kind of like
kind of far-fetched.
Yeah. And that was also another like pretty cool thing for Hank to do to Jacob, his brother, you know, like putting him in that situation, because that's his best friend, whether Hank likes him or not, that's still his best friend. And he's the only one that's really spent time with him. And he's kind of alone other than, Lou, you know, at that point. So, it was a nice twist, I think, when that was all going down, though, where Jacob starts, it sounds like he's going to turn on Hank, you know, in the middle of that conversation.
yeah, it seemed like it wasn't going to happen. Like he's getting ready to get up and leave.
That was some great acting right there, too, I thought, from Billy
I
Bob.
did too. No, I did too. Well, first it was like he was going to leave, but then he got to the point where he was just getting fed up with Hank, I think. And it kept on hinting at, you could see Hank sweating, but it was like, it sounded like he was just going to like come out and tell Lou what was going on.
So I thought, like, oh God, what's about to happen? What's about to happen? And then,
but then that's where he's probably his whole life, Jacob is being told he's slow, that he's not smart, or you kind of get this feeling like all the way through that thing. But that was like, you kind of see he did that was all planned out, and he did it in a way where he brought out exactly, even though he didn't want to do it, he brought out exactly what Hank wanted out of that situation. And Hank, I think, was even caught off guard, because then he's almost like fumbling for the recorder, because he's like, oh, wait a minute.
This is what's happening. This is what, okay, caught him off guard. So he kind of thought ahead of Hank on that one.
Yeah. And I think after that point too, there was a couple of times where Hank started like admitting to like, yeah, you remember a lot of things, you catch a lot of things, you know? And I think that's just something that he just didn't get that respect, or that, you know, that, what do I want to say? Like, he just wasn't noticed for that. You know, they just kind of brushed him off. That
you're a slow guy and you don't catch on. But he's really smarter in some ways than the other two are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that whole thing, even whether we go through that whole point though, but that whole situation then blows up in their face as well too. And they end up with
another murder on your hands.
Yeah.
And
that
there goes
whole scene
that whole scene was insane. But then you got Hank there again, covering everything up.
Yep.
I honestly, you know, when the whole thing went down with Lou and, you know, he was shot, I kind of expected that to end up that in a way that happening. But when he shot his wife as well, I was just like, okay, well.
He was self-defense in that situation, though. He was shooting at him. So it's kind of like a live or die situation.
Was she, though?
Yes, she shot it. She pulled out a gun.
She started shooting. So I think that was a situation where he went and she knew about the money, obviously, because she makes a comment about it. And I think Hank, he picks up the gun and not like really knowingly is kind of pointing it in her direction, and she starts panicking, thinking he's going to do something. And that's where she runs into the kitchen and gets the pistol and starts shooting at him. And it was kind of, I guess at that point it was self-defense, but it was like not innocent, I guess, in that situation either.
Thinking in the right mind at that moment. But yeah.
But then he goes right back into his mode of like covering the tracks and like, let's get our story straight. And this is what's happened. And he even like sets the whole scene. Like he grabs the shotgun and starts shooting around the house. Like, okay, this is the story. Lou went crazy. He's just shooting everything up. And you could just tell that he's just like, he's already gone down that slope, and it's like, nothing's going to stop him at this point.
This whole thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three steps.
So, I guess I'm trying to think where you want to go with it next. I know we still want to hit real big on the end of the movie. Cause that's where you were saying like it kind of fell apart a little bit for you. What's that?
Go ahead and get into that too. Yeah. I just think, so then, I don't know if there's anything else you want to cover, but the FBI agent comes in there.
Okay. So that, yeah. So that part's a little far-fetched for me too.
Yeah. I didn't really, they could have, in my opinion, instead of doing that whole story, because it was unrealistic, you got an FBI agent sitting here that's not an FBI agent talking to, I guess he's the sheriff of the town.
Yeah.
Talking to him, and then they're going to do this whole plan of going and find this plane, and the cop never looks at his badge.
Like they're going to verify the information, like call, what is it, Quantico? And
somebody. I would have liked it better if they would have just changed that and had, because he's the brother of the guy that was on the plane that died, and had him just show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could have had some more suspense in the movie and added that into the story and wrapped it up instead of him being an FBI agent, which was unrealistic. That's the only part where the movie kind of falls apart for me. I'm like, this is, because before everything, even though the whole movie's kind of out there, kind of realistic, this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like starting to push the limits a little bit.
Yeah. That was one thing to me, is like, okay, I know it's a small town and maybe they don't follow the book quite as much as a big city or something, but like, if somebody comes in and is like, hey, I'm an FBI agent, help me bring in a couple of your citizens to help me, track down.
Walk in there and say that,
know? Like even a small town would be like, okay, show me some ID, show me some, like even if they don't follow everything by the book, like that was a little stretch for me to be like, you could just walk in and just say, I'm an FBI agent. And
I didn't like that part.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
Talking about things to change, I think I would have changed that or had something. I don't know. That one was a little far-fetched for me to.
It could have changed it to where one of the times where they went back to the plane to return the money or whatever the case was, cover the tracks, then some guy's just looking for the plane. And then you could have introduced this other character.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's tracking them down and, arguments between each other. What should they do? Whatever the case is, instead of the FBI agent thing.
I think they wanted to factor in the part of the story where the wife had seen the newspaper clipping and like she recognized him. Yeah. And then she made the connection and called up there. And then they had the dramatic scene where she called him and it's like, leave, I think they wanted that to be a kind of a part.
And they wanted to connect the part at the beginning where they mentioned the plane to the cop. So.
Right. Yeah. So I see how that pulls together, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, small town cops. I know they're small town cops, but I'm pretty sure they would like check something out if somebody just walks into their, their station and like say they're FBI agent, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously can make like a fake badge and everything. And even then, they would still have to research and call up, his probably boss or something. And
you would think so.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you look past that, you got the four of them going out looking for this plane. And this is where things kind of, they go out into the snow and then they find it. So at that point, there's a big question of whether he truly is the FBI agent at that point or not. But it's not completely sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that comes out. They find the plane, and it's made pretty obvious, pretty clear, fast that he's not a legit FBI agent. Shooting the sheriff in the back.
The sheriff never really finds it out. The entire time
No.
he's just completely clueless.
Yeah. No, he doesn't, because he's more like, what are you trying to yell at me? As Hank's coming down there.
Like, it's okay. He's going to show his badge. And he's got his back turned the whole time.
Yeah. You kind of figure if somebody's acting erratic like that, you probably want everybody in your line of sight, at that point. But, so that was another little far-fetched, I guess. But, when it all boils down, I mean, not skipping over things, but, the scene, so I don't know a good way to like go about it, but there's the shootout.
Yep.
And so the sheriff's down. He makes him go in for the money in the plane. He pulls out, with a 500,000, whatever they put in there. And he's like, where's the rest of it? And he doesn't know that.
Brilliant plan didn't work. Just
Yeah.
put A in there.
Yep. Didn't work. But he had smuggled, and that was another far-fetched thing too, that, he basically smuggled a gun out of the
Gun.
Yeah. Yeah. He got into the locker and got a revolver out of the sheriff's office before they left. So he's able to eliminate the bad guy, let's say, in that situation. But Billy Bob Thornton, Jacob, he comes up onto the situation, and that's where he just kind of is like, I can't. But that's the thing. Hank goes right into his mode again of like, okay, this is the story. This will still work. And he's like, I'm going to come up with another lie. We're going to be fine. We're going to get through this. And Jacob is just finally, he goes, I'm done.
He's tired.
He's tired. He's worn down, sick about everything that's happened.
This is not going to work out.
Yeah. So what did you think about that situation? Then what leads up there?
Well, for one, it kind of starts bringing a little bit of a, tearjerker a little bit with Billy Bob's character, Jacob. And I can't believe that Hank did it, honestly. And that's your brother. And I guess in that situation, it was like he was going to do it either way. So he kind of had to cover his tracks, to make it look real. I was kind of shocked that he did it.
I think it comes from like the beginning of the movie to kind of what this money kind of made him become.
Yeah. And he was the one that didn't even want to do it in the first place, and now he's the only one left.
Yep.
So.
And I mean, I think I don't want to say I can relate with his character Jacob, but because he wanted to take his life. But I mean, the way it's just worn him down so much. And
he lived a simple life, and all he's got is his truck, and he's just driving around with his friend, and now you got this whole chaos lifestyle, and he's done.
He doesn't want to have to deal with that. Like, it's not worth it.
Well, yeah. And at that point, of like we said, a neighbor that your involvement, whether you did it yourself or not, your involvement, they're dead. Your best friend and his wife are dead. And he's just like, so you can understand the point of at least being so worn down to be like, I can't handle this anymore. I don't want, he's like, basically it's like, I don't even want to see them. I don't want the money. He goes, I'm going to think of this. I'll always remember everything that led up to this. And I would never like enjoy having this money, basically.
And you made a good point, since Lou and, his wife is now gone out of the picture. Really, Jacob has nothing, because his brother is married, has a new kid on the way, or has a kid now. And Jacob doesn't have a wife or a job or anything. His truck's, damaged. That's all he had. And he's got nothing now, really. I mean, he's got the money, but that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's not going to make him happy.
He was just done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, no, I agree. That was a pretty shocking scene where I didn't think he was going to go through with it, but that also goes back into his like whole mode of like, what lie or what scene can I set to get out of this situation? And when Jacob's basically like, I'm going to do it or you're going to do it. If you do it, you can you have a story. If I do it, you're in trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble. So it's like, what do you want? And he chose, instead of facing up to what he did and be trouble, and his brother, I mean, he shot himself. And so this was what reminds me of like they have the old, they call them like noir movies, where it's like everybody's kind of like backstabbing, like kind of out for their own good. And you just know things are going to go bad. They're going to go south at some point. And it was going south for like quite a while with this, going bad situations, but then it just takes it to another level where it was like the icing on the cake. Like what happens after that? So after all that happens, he gets called in, and originally I thought he was getting questioned like he did it. You know, they were like saying, you know, there's so many ways that you can tell somebody's lying to you. You know, they don't look at you in the face. They're touching their mouth. They're doing all these things. And I thought they were like saying you're a liar and we're interrogating you, but they kind of come out and think he's in the clear, but just like, then they kind of turn and be like, did you ever notice that guy that said he was an FBI agent, that he was making any of these notions? So I thought that was a good little twist where it was kind of like, oh, he got caught. Now he's in trouble. But it was really just them asking if he suspected anything of the fake FBI agent, you know,
right.
at the time. But then that's where the other shoe drops, I guess they would say, where they start talking about, yeah, we couldn't mark the bills, but we got a task force before we gave this money out, got like 20 FBI agents, and we wrote down as many serial numbers as we could. And he basically was like, we got basically 1 out of 10 of all those $100 bills, and it's going to turn up sooner or later. They'll just start sending the money and we'll find out who got it.
Now, speaking of that, did this come to your mind when watching that scene? That there's a possibility that maybe they didn't really believe his story, and they were, because that's a lot of information just to give somebody.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so maybe they just told him that, so it's like, just go ahead and turn it in, or your plan's not going to work. Get rid of it because we're going to find you. Because I mean, if they knew about that before and they had the time to do that, but nothing else, there's a part of me that didn't believe them telling him that. I don't think that was 100% true. Just part of me. So then he burns the money, which all this was for nothing.
Yeah.
For nothing. You know, his brother's dead, his brother's friend's dead. All this shit happened for no reason. But is that actually true or not? Did they really mark the bills?
Right.
So
I didn't.
That was thinking that.
I did not think of that, but now that you say that, I can see why you were thinking that. Like you said, like will he get rid of it? Will he panic? Will he like take off and run? And if they know, if he all of a sudden him and his wife take off, you know, like, oh, we got our person, you know. And I didn't even think about that, but I could totally see that. Like just give enough to make you nervous.
That's a lot of information just to give somebody that was in this situation. Like, oh, we marked the bills. Like, really?
Yeah, they might have expected something, so they're like, hey, let's just tell him this just so he doesn't spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or does something erratic that gives them suspicion where they could go after him. Because at that point, maybe they just didn't have enough and they're like, we can't do anything. But if he takes off and runs or does something crazy, you know, we can get him. No, I could totally see that. No, absolutely. I wasn't thinking that, but I could totally see that. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, okay, so when we're wrapping this up, and he's just like, we can't spend $1 of this because they'll know.
And his wife out.
Yeah.
Our money.
Yeah. And I think those were when those lines started coming out too, where I was like, oh, she just took it to another level where she was like, I can't do this. She's like, am I going to have to work at that library and fake my smile every day? And then we can't go out for nice meals. And my kid's going to have hand-me-down clothes or toys. Or I was like, okay, that's what you're worried about at this point? Like,
not that his brother is dead, and not that this person's dead and this person's dead, and all these lies and everything. All you're worried about is, I mean, I get you just had a kid and whatever.
But like a week, or I don't know how much time has passed by since the beginning
of the movie. I'm thinking days. Like, I mean, from the movie, weeks. But
yeah, but like a few weeks ago, like you were in the same boat. like I don't know why I don't know. Just the whole behavior there was so crazy.
Yeah. And so now they're both going to have to live with that for the rest of their lives. Like what he did. And now he knows. She pretty much came out and said I'm miserable with what our life was or is. And so you got that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, so maybe that's his just reward, for all that's happened. That's what he gets for reward. He doesn't get the money. He gets a life that he's going to have to live with what he did to his brother and other people in the community. And that his wife is telling him she's miserable with the life that they have. And I'm like, well,
life is as happy as it was before.
Yeah.
It's
so
worse than before this whole situation started.
Yeah. So it's kind of like going back to what the voiceover at the very beginning of it was like, okay, those simple things that my dad said you needed to be happy. I had those and I didn't realize it. And now it's basically, I wish I could go back to that simple.
So, moral of the story is be happy with what you got.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't go crazy finding money and then killing people. No. But it's like, seriously, like, and then how much money can turn people too. And you like to think, I'm not saying even to that extreme, but that money can affect people in different ways. And you like to think you're immune to some of that, but you don't know until you're in that situation. If you have that sitting in front of you, like you'd like to know what you do, but it's probably way different if they're really living it out and it's really sitting there in front of them. And you can't say that you don't have that thought go through your head of like, could you make it work? Could you take that money? And anyway, that's where I think that made the whole movie even more convincing. Is it introduces things that we all have. I mean, greed and envy are things that happen every day. And
that was honestly, like, you would hope that, you wouldn't act that way. And like most people have a pretty, well, a lot of people have a good moral center. And they and stuff for money, but I feel like it's kind of sad to think about just in general how people behave when money's involved. So
absolutely. And that's like I'm saying, like not to this extreme, like, lying and killing people, but where just bad situations happen, like where people don't talk to each other, even that, I've seen that plenty of times where, money gets involved or feelings get hurt because of it or whatever. And then all of a sudden you got family members or friends or family, like not talking to each other ever again because of those situations. And you take that where you can relate to that common, I've seen that happen before, or I can see how something could be challenging with that. And then they just amplify it for this movie, and really blow it up. But okay, so we went through the whole thing, and I know I can probably take my little banner off now. So, but I think we spoiled everything we can spoil. I'll take that off there. But
it's from '98. Just go watch it.
You've had time.
Yeah. Well, and there's some movies too. I think even if you know the whole story of it, it's so much better to just watch the movie, and you can still have a great time watching it. So. Even if you know the outcome of it, it's still a great movie because it's just like me. I like to go back and watch movies I've already watched before.
Oh yeah.
And have fun with them. So I think we all hit on this, but how do is it a strong recommend, kind of recommend, or how do you feel if you talk to somebody about this movie?
I would say it's a strong, I'm not saying this because like I said, I have problems with the ending and whatnot. I would say it's a strong recommend. I enjoy it. Like you said, like we commented on, it's directed by Sam Raimi, so at least go watch it for that. And I think everybody in this movie is great. Bill Paxton, Billy Bob, everybody. And Gary Cole, the one that played the FBI agent.
Oh yeah.
Also in Sling Blade with Billy Bob.
Oh, that's right.
So I thought that was kind of interesting, little fact. But
I didn't catch that, but yeah.
I would recommend it. I gave it. I'm floating between. I don't know if you're going to do this or not.
Go for it. Go for it.
I floated between a 3.5 and a 4. I'm thinking a 3.5. But that's a good movie for me. That's a solid recommend.
Oh yeah, no, to me that's a good score. So out of 5, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, 3.5 or a 4.
Yeah. No, that's a strong score. In my book, that's still a strong score. I know everybody kind of thinks about it differently, but that's
it's under a 3 for me, I'll probably never watch it again.
Okay.
So if it's a 3 or higher, I'll watch it again.
So Emily, what do you think? Even if you don't give it the actual star rating, like what was your overall conclusion, like feeling on it, and how you would talk to somebody about it?
Yeah, I do have a letterbox, so I have been doing the star ratings, but I would recommend it. I wouldn't say like strong, like it was not like my favorite, like one of my favorite movies or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the performances were great.
And you have a great cast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cast was great. I feel like the plot was pretty decent. It was like 2 hours long, so it was like almost a little bit too long. But I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5, which is pretty decent for me. I'm kind of like Cody. If it's a 3 or less, that's usually a sign that I'm like, I wasn't loving it.
Yeah.
Like I gave Blood Diner like a 2. So
it's so I think I'm right in line with both of you, and I'm not just saying that, but it was a strong movie for me, and like a lot of the points you brought up, between Sam Raimi directing it, and you got Bill Paxton and Billy Bob Thornton and Bridget Fonda, and great cast, and I thought it was a great story. I wouldn't have any trouble recommending this to somebody, and I'm still trying to get good at, this year I kind of tried more doing the star system on Letterboxd. Like before last year, I was just logging if I watched it just to keep track of everything. And then this year I'm trying to rate more. I hadn't gone out and done it yet because any that I'm going to talk about on whether it's my stream or somebody else's, I'm like, I'll hold off on putting that out there. Just
we didn't rate this one because like normally the movie ends as soon as like the credits come up, we're on Letterboxd.
I have to immediately.
Yeah. We're doing it, and we were about to. I'm like, no, let's just wait because we're about to go on live, and we'll do it when the show's over. We'll
gotta keep people in suspense.
Yeah, that's where I was like, oh, that's why I started. I was like, I'll do that, and I've done that with a few other ones before being on other people's streams. I'm like, I won't. So I'll log it, but I won't put the star rating on yet. And then I've been trying to go back and do the star ratings on those. So that's what I got to think about it more too. But I could see the 3 to 3.5. But what you're saying with Blood Diner, this is where some people I think get frustrated with me. I can give something a 2-star and still think it's a pretty solid movie. I'm just not saying like, oh, great award winner, but I could be like, oh, it's 2 stars, but I would still say go see it, kind of a thing. But
like the Blood Diner, since we're bringing that one up a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a good movie, but it's so far-fetched and cheesy that it's good. You know what I mean? But it's so out there, and the story's just kind of all over the place, and it's cheesy, and the killings and the acting's not great, but it's fun. You could just sit back, have a few drinks, chill with somebody, and pop that on and have. But it's not a good movie. So it's a 2.5.
But you had fun.
Terribly awful though. Like you could sit there, like he said, watch it, have fun with it. Like if I give, like we've given movies like a 1 or something before, or half a star. That's just to the point where you're like, get this off my screen.
No, I can see that. But like 2, that one you said, you're like, we had fun, but it serves a purpose. Like it's a late night fun watch to.
Yeah.
Sounds like one. I don't want to watch it, but it sounds like one to watch with like a group of people and like having a beverage at night. Hanging out like a late night movie watch.
Yeah, don't watch it by yourself. Watch it with some friends. Just laugh, chill, kind of a background. You can joke about it the entire time. One of those movies.
Yep. And totally not one that I know my wife would not care for that at all. And that's not a knock on her, but like I said, it's like I don't think that would be one that would be up her alley. But
no kids.
Yeah. Well, I won't watch that with my kids. My kids are older, but still I can't still watch certain things with my kids. So there'll be certain things that they'll never be old enough to watch certain things with me, I think. But so oh gosh, I wish I could remember who it was. Somebody on YouTube I know made a comment that they went, it was a grown woman. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of who it was. Anyway, an adult, and she went with her father to Poor Things. And she was just like, no. It was like one of those that they didn't realize. They went right away when it first came out, I think, and did not know someone that was involved with the movie. And she was like, no, that was uncomfortable.
I know what you're talking about. Someone, I think they said it in the chat.
Somebody did. I'm blanking on who it was, but
I can't remember who.
But from what I've heard now since then, those are the type of things I'm like, yeah, no, I can't watch anything like that with my kid.
Because there's a whole 30-minute, you need to watch this movie. Poor Things is great.
It's great.
But there's a whole 30 minutes probably, I would say, in this movie where it's like, if you're watching with like your kids or your parents, you'd be like, this is awkward.
Yeah, you got to fast forward this.
Owen's character, she's
out there in this movie, but she does. I mean, her acting is phenomenal. And then we got William Dafoe and Mark Ruffalo, and I mean,
it's really funny.
We should have made it about Poor Things, Corey.
I know, we should have. Poor Things.
I don't know. I don't know. I've heard so many things both ways that there's so many other movies that I know for sure I want to watch. So it's hard for me to throw that.
I would put this one higher on the list.
We'll see. And that's what makes it harder too, is because I can watch it for free, or included, whatever, on one of our streaming services. But
I think I rated it 4.5.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 4.5 as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're around the same, unless it's an action movie.
And then that's when the wheels come off.
I'm like a 5 and she's like a 2.
Yeah, I'm like, I give it a 1.
Can I give it 0 stars? Can I give it 0?
Heart.
Well, yeah. We weren't alone with this one. I think I was just kind of looking down through here. Johnny was saying that he thought this film was fantastic to Tiana. And I was just kind of jumping here just a little bit, see everybody that was, I know I'm way behind on chat, but she's sold now. She's going to watch it. If I skip over people's messages, it's not on purpose. I'm just kind of running through some of these quickly. Craig was saying, sounds like Treasure of Sierra Madre movie. Yes, I have that. And similar themes, we'll just say that. I mean, it's a different movie, but similar themes where money comes into the equation between a few people and the greed starts coming out. And I agree, Craig. So yes, I would say same type of, write it down if you don't. Treasure of Sierra Madre. I enjoyed it. As long as you're okay with older movies. Some people are just like, I prefer
than I do nowadays, honestly.
Yeah. No, good call, Craig, on that one. If you're still in here, I know it's probably been a while ago, but that's a good movie, and I do have that in my collection. I enjoy it. So, yep, absolutely. Laren was saying, let's see, there's Laren agreeing. Yes, it is like that one. It's one of Raimi's, one of his favorite flicks of Raimi's. Holland throwing some, I know, hopefully you're still in here, but who do you guys put the most blame on in this movie?
So in a way, I want to say Hank's wife. What's her name? Sarah. Because I don't think they would have went to Lou's house to do the tape recording. That whole situation wouldn't have happened. He never would have returned
to the plane
to return that money. So that wouldn't have happened. I mean, it's all their fault. But I would say that she was, even though she's not even part of the group that found the money, I think she's the biggest part of the...
Notice they have her on the cover. They don't have Lou on the cover.
That's true.
Like they're saying, she's kind of a mastermind.
Because Lou's really just the extra character. He's not really a part of the movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I would say Bridget Fonda's character is Sarah.
So I'm going to... I do that all the time. I'm going to answer that like two ways. So I would say, the most blame I'm going to throw somewhere on the 3 guys at the beginning, because if they would have turned in the money in the beginning, nothing would have happened. So I'm still debating between those 3, but for Sarah, the wife, I'd say she was the coldest out of them, even though, I don't know. That's hard to say though, too, because Hank kills people, like literally. But she is kind of cold where she's putting ideas in his head, kind of a thing too. And like
How two of them?
Yeah.
So Lou being the one that is the one that recommends keeping the money in the first place. So technically, I guess he's the start of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But he does the least out of everybody, and he's the town drunk.
He's
he's the one that everybody's worried about, but he does the least out of everybody.
So I would almost say Hank and Sarah are right up there for me.
Which is the good couple.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the ones with the job and respectable in the town. But I almost want to put both of them on some high blame, like together. So Lou wants to take the money right off the bat and wants to lie about it, but he doesn't want to hurt anybody though either. I know he's stealing, so I'm not whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's not physically like, I don't know. I think I kind of want to throw an equal Hank and Sarah kind of were, and that's what's funny. Like you said, they're the good ones out of that group.
If Lou would have went out there and found the money by himself,
mm-hmm.
he would have just probably bought a brand new car, hot rod.
He would have been stupid.
He would have got drunk and probably would have been dead in 6 months.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
Before the FBI agent showed up, he would have spent it all and been dead.
Yeah.
Already blown it all. And he probably, I mean, if they had actually marked the cereals or whatever, he probably would have already.
Oh, he would have been caught. Yeah.
He wouldn't have been manipulative about it.
Yeah. No, that's a good question, Holland. I like that. But if you're still in here, hey Tim, thanks for dropping in.
I doubt it, but what's up, Tim?
Yeah, I know. That was probably a long time ago. Sorry. Are you guys still doing okay? I know I'm keeping you a long time. But
I'm good.
Emily's like, I don't know.
I'm like, yes, I'm great. Keep talking.
I'm waiting for if Holland's still in here. He'll throw out the line I think he did to me, and then a couple other times he'll probably be like, Emily, blink twice if you need help. You don't have to say anything, but it's just like, just blink twice if you need help.
Timmy.
Saying hi to Timmy. Oh, yep, there you go. Johnny was saying Crow's the harbinger of death. So I thought, and I think that purposely they were highlighting them a few different times through that movie. Tim was saying, I love Bridget Fonda's transition during the movie. Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that. And now it's kind of funny that she's in this movie because you mentioned no point of, what is it?
Point of no return?
Point of no return that she's in that I on the list. Might watch it tomorrow, honestly. Because I haven't seen a whole lot of movies that she's been in.
She has some good ones. And she just kind of fell off the map a little bit, but
is she related to Jane?
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't think so. But
they look similar in a lot of ways.
I'm just gonna throw out random stuff.
What was there a Tarantino movie she was in too?
Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like one of the later ones I remember her in, but
yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot from her. I've seen Jackie Brown and now this, and I want to say there's one other movie, but that's about it.
Yeah. Tim was saying in Raimi We Trust. I know he's a big fan. Remember Raimi even has westerns under his belt to quicken I guess I didn't realize he directed that.
I've seen him post about it. I think Tim has that in his collection. I've never watched it though.
Okay, kind of run through here quick. Larry was saying Kate Blanchett as well. Her character is based on Billy Bob Thornton's mother. I wonder what movie that is.
Oh.
Sorry, that's where I get thrown off, where I get to finally get to chat. That was like for things we were talking about quite a while ago. So
we're trying to remember. We're like,
sorry, Laren. I have bad memory. If you're still in here, but Tim was saying, I don't really feel Raimi ever stuck himself in a genre, but he brings his same sensibilities and style to any genre he goes. You can feel something being a Raimi movie.
I agree with that.
He definitely has. It'd be interesting to go back and look at any other directors that hits so many different genres, because he has some pretty diverse movies under his belt.
I haven't seen the Western one, but I think out of all of them, this is the far-fetched one.
Yeah.
The most different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laren's agreeing with Tim. Tim, I need your least favorite Raimi film.
Good question.
Oh, there you go. I'd probably say Oz, and I still like Oz. It just felt shackled by the studio a little. Still feels very Raimi in spots, though.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that either.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't did that one, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one either.
Laren was saying that's the only movie he hasn't seen. I need to get on it. I don't know if I have either, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But
I think it's the prequel to Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Tiana was saying, oh, cool, I love a good thriller. So she's going to be getting on that one, sounds like. Hey, Tony.
Tony!
Hey, everyone. How's it going? Sorry. Probably was a while ago. And if you're still here, thank you for stopping in. Everybody's going to be saying hi to him now. Here, I'll kind of flip through some of these quickly.
Look at Corey's like, I'm never going to have these on here. I've been talking for 3 hours now.
Oh, I've gone longer than this, and that's where people say I'm kind of aimless and scattered with it, but it's my excuse to hang out with people, and it's like, whatever, you know. That's where I was like, maybe I should call it something different or what this, but Corey finally gets to talk to people show or something. But Tiana was saying, Corey, do I have your letterbox? I don't remember. I don't know. I'll have to check.
Yeah, I need to add.
Or I mean, I do have it, but I don't know if we're. Sorry, that's what she asked. I read things wrong. Corey, do you have it? I don't. Yes, I do have it.
I think I have you on Letterboxd.
Oh, Holland's saying, yep. Yep, that's what I am under my letterbox if you're looking for me. Wilkie IA.
Yep, I think I have them.
Or it's kind of funny. Some things I have that on, and it's funny when people, and I feel bad, but when people try to pronounce names and they're like, oh, Wilkia. I sound like, and I'm like, I can see where you're getting that. Sound like IKEA, but Wilkia. But yep, that's where I'm at for Letterboxd. So, okay, I thought so. I'll probably follow you. LOL. Okay.
I'll probably follow you.
Probably. Don't commit to anything, Tiana. Don't commit.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'll hold it against you. I'm going to be checking after we get off the stream and see if you're following me or not. But, Johnny, I'm still trying to get April to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Watch it.
I've never seen it.
The second one come out already?
Yep, the second one's out.
Yeah, I have not. And I've heard people have said that they liked it better because they were like, okay, the first one got their foot in the door, they made some money, and now they had more money to go back and make this one with better effects and more.
I was reading this. They were saying that the second one is what the first one should have been. And
okay.
Me and John were going to go watch it, but it was only in theaters for 3 days, and I was out of town, and I couldn't go see it.
This was a short.
Yeah, it was like Wednesday.
Release.
It was like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've had a few.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm sure it'll be out on physical soon.
Oh yeah, you'll get it there. But I have not seen either one of them. Holland was saying April needs to see that, Johnny, and I need to see the sequel. Yeah, I've heard if you got along with the first one, I heard you'd like the second one even better. So Deanna's laughing at that. Comes out in Canada this month. Oh, okay. Oh, I think he's probably, I don't know, he's maybe joking with her, but oh no, he was legitimately asking first or the second one. Yeah, you never know with different countries how the release schedules are with some of those.
They've been forever.
Yeah. We never got it here. Oh. She has already refused the Strangers prequel coming out this year.
Yeah, so that one's going to be in 3 parts.
The Strangers prequel?
Yeah. Do part 1 and part 2 and part 3, and they're breaking it up. I don't know if it's all going to be this year or not, but yeah, it's like one comes out a month or 2 later, part 2 comes out a month or 2 later, part 3 comes out.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've watched that movie.
Good movie.
I know a lot of people can't handle that, and I'm not making fun of it because it's creepy. But when you get the home invasion type movies that are like, okay, that could kind of happen, kind of a thing.
It's unnerving, honestly.
They're like the scarier ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, scarier than the, I don't know, the off the wall supernatural ones to me anyway, because it's just like, it's.
Well, whatever, but someone comes into my home
Yeah. Oh, here. Oh gosh, I always hit the button and then I miss a. But Laren was saying, please watch The Treasure of Sierra Madre. Everyone, you won't regret it. And I agree. I really enjoyed it. You can find it. I can't remember where I got that one from, but I found a pretty good deal on the Blu-ray for it. Tiana said she never seen it. Well, Tiana, it sounds like you got one to add to the watch list now. So, because Laren said, but no, I agree with him. It's a good one.
Okay.
They make a great double feature. I could see that. Johnny was saying, I would have done to Bridget Fonda what De Niro did to her in the parking lot in I had to think about it for a second. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but there you go, Johnny. There you go. And Holland's like, what? Oh, Lauren was saying Bridget is Jane's niece, Fonda. So they are related.
They're related.
Huh.
I was like, how many Fondas do we have in the movie industry?
Well, yeah, I guess I didn't realize that. Oh, she's Peter Fonda's daughter. Peter and Jane are siblings. Oh, I didn't.
I was wondering. I was going to mention Peter Fonda and see if that was a relation.
See, I love doing this. We get all this information. Isn't
there a Henry Fonda too?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. Holland was saying, I'm sure the Wood couple would have their own signal for when they have to decide to keep Corey or turn him in to the authorities.
Oh yeah.
It's like, hey,
that Corey guy.
Yeah, I get that. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Jeff was saying, I'll have to keep the longest rent. Yeah, we probably won't hit yours. Well, we went pretty long.
how on?
Huh?
How long were y'all on together?
Just over 4 hours.
Oh, we can do it.
Oh no!
We're at 2:57 right now.
We can do it.
I'm getting hungry.
We can do it.
Well, I was gonna say you probably here. I'll grab the other mug. No, it's a long time to. I mean, and I never thought I ever could do that, but yeah, just sometimes it keeps going. But don't feel like you have to. Like I said, you don't even have to hurt my feelings. Or you won't at all if it's just like, okay, we're good. Because usually at this part it's just kind of going. But yeah, Jeff had the longest. I had one that was very, very close to breaking his, but I think it was like only like 3 minutes short or something like that with Andy at Forgotten World of Movies. And
you like mention it, like, you know, like we're really close to breaking my last record, so you just keep it going.
Well, I think Jeff was in that one too. He was awesome. He was like in there forever. And I think he was in there. Yeah. And he threw in a comment. He's like, oh, are you guys going to break my record? And I kind of looked up at the time and I'm like, oh, we're getting close. But it was getting to where we were not sure. It was not long after that. I was like, we were kind of getting ready to wrap up anyway. And I think I need to go back and look at it, but I think it's only like 3 or 4 minutes different.
That's the thing. Jeff, I mean, because we all met Jeff. Mm-hmm. He's one of the guys that you can sit there and talk to for hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Not even realize how much time has passed.
And I think that's a lot of the people that was in that meetup, and you guys too, where it was like, I was like, that was the least amount of sleep I've gotten in that number of days. I was so tired, but it was so much fun. But, and I think I was telling that to my wife and she's like, oh, you guys party pretty hard. I'm like, no, we didn't at all. I mean, not at all. It was just, we'd stay up talking and all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, dang, do you see the time? And we're supposed to get up at what time?
It'd be like 3 o'clock. I'm like, all right, well, I think we need to go to bed. We got to be at whatever store at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I was like, I got to get a few hours of sleep, but that was just kind of funny. She was, what's that?
Early. And I went to bed at like 12:30 or something. And I'm like, sorry.
Oh no, you were the smart one. There was a few smart ones that went to bed, but no, it's, but that was funny. She was just like, well, how hard were you guys partying? I'm like, we didn't at all. It was just, it's just hanging out, talking, sitting around. And it was, no, that's awesome. Kind of like this right now. So
exactly.
All right. I lost my spot here. Jeff was just saying, that he believed it was 4. Yeah, it was just over. I'll have to go look, but it was like It was kind of funny because he was like 407 and Andy and I were like 403 or something like that. He was sweating. He was like, don't break my record. Corey wins by, oh wait, no, there we go. I skipped one. Emily is tapping out and Corey wins by submission. Yep. I can talk anybody into submission, I guess. Corey needs to have some of us on and go for an 8-hour stream. So I have been on one. So earlier, I'm sure he's in bed by now, but Gizmo, you know, he's in, on this where I'm gonna say the wrong country and he's gonna get mad at me, but I want to say Denmark. And if I get that wrong, I'm never gonna live it down. But anyway, a lot of hours difference, and I'm just like, do you ever sleep? Because he's up at all hours on these late streams with us. And anyway, the longest ones I've ever been on have been with his channel, and I think the longest I was with him was pushing 6 hours.
Oh wow!
And they were going longer. I didn't even get on at the beginning of it. So they're marathoners. And I was just like, and that one I tapped out. I said, I remember I said, sorry guys. I got to go to bed.
Yeah. I know Bob and Tony and Tony and Ken have all had like a 6 hour, 7 hour stream one time.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. I mean, I say that's crazy, but yeah, no, that's a long time, but
it's Saturday. So we're off tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. That's a little different. And we started earlier too. So, I mean, for me, a little early, not like way early, but we're not starting like at 10 o'clock at night or something.
Right.
Tiana says that sounds like a challenge, Johnny. Okay. We're going to do okay. Have you ever come across this? So there's some people that I checked out once in a while on Twitch. Like it's normally a gaming thing, but I actually follow a couple of guys that do deep sea fishing. I find it interesting to watch.
Okay.
So they'll do live streams of going out in Florida, out deep sea fishing, going for swordfish and everything. And so yeah, I'm the weird one watching fishers, I guess, out there. But
no.
But it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's kind of cool to listen to them and watch it, and kind of have it in the background. But there's some gamers on there I know. They'll do like fundraisers, and they'll do a 24-hour stream. So they'll stop and be like, I got to go take care of some things. I'll be right back, you know, but it's for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something. And then they come back, and I think that'd be hard.
Yeah. I've watched a few really on TikTok. They've got a few that go on for a long time. Obviously I don't watch the entire time, but I'll pop in and out, and they'll be on there for hours.
Well, we're on for hours already. So, but to go 24, we got to come up with what's that?
People live stream all kinds of different things. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, there's some interesting. Interesting is a good way to put it on some things, but yeah, but I don't know. What's the longest you think you could go on a stream? And you can take breaks, like to be able to walk away for a second and come back. But
I don't know. I think the number 6 is popping in my head. 6 hours. I'm like, all right, guys, I gotta go. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'll see you. Peace out. I think 6 hours plus 6 hours, I'm done. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah. That one I was on, like I said, they went longer than I did, but I think it was pushing 6 hours, but that was getting into like 2 a.m. And I was like, guys, I'm sorry, but I got to go to bed. I just was getting so tired. I wasn't even following anything.
But if you have the right one, I mean, you could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah. On who you're on with and the time of day as well. Like if it was late at night, I think it would be kind of hard, but if it was maybe a little bit earlier.
If we had some of the people that we went with, like we would be on there for a long time.
Yeah. I think Tammy, my wife, I think she stopped asking me how long my streams are going to go anymore. Because a couple of the first ones, I didn't know how long they'd go, you know, and I'm like, I don't know. A lot of people go an hour and a half. And I think the very first one I did, it was like, I don't know, 3.5 or something. And I come out. What's that?
I think your very first or second one was like 3.5 hours long.
It was something.
Yeah, because I watched the entire thing. I was like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta go in the morning.
No, I love it too. But I think that was one of those I came out and she was like, how long did you say it was going to go? And so now she just like, oh, you're doing a live stream, and not like mad or anything, but she's just like, okay. It's just like, I think she just stopped asking how long it's going to go for, but cause I really don't know. I mean, cause if I have somebody on and they're truly like, Corey, I got like an hour and a half tops.
Yeah.
Like I'll keep it to that. But if somebody's like, hey, I feel like chatting for a little while, I can keep going. But that's where I won't have any hurt feelings too. If somebody's like, okay, that's been good. You know, we can wrap her up. I mean, by this point, she's got done with Titanic because it's like they're over 3 hours, right? So
Here's kind of what she's doing. You want to go check on her real quick?
She's fine.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
The doors are locked. Everything's locked. She's good.
I feel bad. Johnny was saying April wasn't messing around that weekend. 9 or 10 p.m. she hit the bed.
She was gone.
Oh, really? See, I thought I was staying up pretty late, like midnight, 12:30. That's why everyone's like, "Oh, Emily's already in bed." I was like, "Come on."
Like deuces about.
That was hard on me because I just am not used to staying up that many, like multiple nights in a row. Like I'll do like one night staying up late, but then I'm always a night owl anyway. I stay up kind of later anyway, but passing the midnight hour, I usually am like, okay, it's probably time to go to bed. But
and everybody was commenting about how I was like, I think the youngest one there. And when I got home, I was there for like an hour, and then I passed out and I was asleep until the next day when I had to go to work.
He was so tired.
I was gone. I was out, dead tired.
I was dragging, I mean, especially after I got done driving all the way back that next day too.
Yeah.
I was glad.
7 drive?
I had like over 11.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was
a long time to Ryan's, and then you had to drive home.
Yep. So
Yeah.
luckily I was riding with Ryan to Indiana. So that helped that he drove that far and I didn't have to, but it still just made it was a long day.
Yeah, I bet.
It was a long day. Jeff was saying it was hard to sleep that weekend. It was just so exciting to just hang out and chat. I agree.
Agreed. 100%.
No, I don't know. Just, it went by fast.
Trouble, Corey.
You're in trouble, Corey. When am I not? Come on.
No context needed.
Yeah, right. Just like, I don't even know, but yep, I can't argue that. So, Tiana say, I love watching fishing for tuna. No, honestly, there's a couple of guys that are like off of the coast of Florida and they'll go out and do deep sea fishing.
What was that show? The Deadliest Catch?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I used to watch the crap out of that.
Oh, yeah.
Killed.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember that.
Yeah.
Johnny was saying you could break the record, Corey. Just have a live stream, watch along for the extended cuts of Lord of the Rings. That'd take a while. I still got to watch the second. I got to watch the second too. Like I've only seen the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was just this year.
The second and third one's really good.
That's what I heard. I've heard a lot of people throw the second like high.
Yeah.
Cause I think a lot of the battles.
But I think I do prefer The Hobbit though.
That was one that I was trying to get off my never seen list because I get grief about never seeing the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit one. So I've seen the first Lord of the Rings now, but I haven't watched the other two yet.
Because I actually read The Hobbit. I've never read the Lord of the Rings, but I read The Hobbit. And The Hobbit's like that thin.
Yeah.
And they made it into 2.5 hour long movies?
Well, Lord of the Rings was that long. They got to make it the same way, right? Tiana was saying, Johnny, that would be awesome. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we could do that. I don't know if anybody would. And Johnny said, and the Hobbit films. There was a theater around me, and I'm sure others have done it too. They did a marathon where they did all 6 movies in a row in one of the theaters, and you could buy like a ticket and you could come and go as much as you wanted, like even leaving the theater and come back.
Back.
Yeah. Like you could be like, okay, I'm starting with the first one, or I don't care for the first one. I'll make it for the second, and then so you didn't have to stay in there. They'd let you like leave. You could go eat at a restaurant and come back in and go. But I mean, that's a lot. Just, all 6 of them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Tiana saying, let's do it, Johnny. Faces for Radio. What's up, guys? Hey,
What's
Dave.
up, buddy? How you doing?
Dave and or Rich. I don't know if you both in there, but we'll say hey to both of you, Dave and Rich. Good to see you, sir.
Oh.
We're still running. We got through the initial and got through the movies, and now it's the can we wear Emily down to give up and stop the stream. So we're close, I think. We're close. We don't have to keep you too much longer.
Hey, it's okay.
Oh, that's so rude.
Tiana saying hey to Dave and Rich. So anyway, like I said, I could keep on going forever, but I don't want to keep you guys any longer than you want to, and it doesn't hurt my feelings. But I mean, are you want to wrap her up, or are you?
Talk for hours, but Emily, I don't know.
No.
I know Corey and I are going to talk backstage anyways, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we can do that for a little bit too. But it's Dave. Sorry, that's
Dave?
where I started with Dave, but I didn't want to slight Rich at all. So I wanted to make sure to I'll say hey to both of you. There, say hey to David. So, well, I tell you what, we could probably start wrapping her up, and we can do backstage for a little bit. But I know Emily, you. Probably a long stream. Have you ever done a stream for this long before?
I'm not sure. I've done a couple of streams with Bob that have been pretty long, but I'm not sure. I didn't time those. Maybe not this long. They were probably at least 2.5, 3 hours, but
yeah. Well, I tell you what, we'll wrap it up for now, and we'll save it for another time because I'd love to have you both back on again sometime.
Oh, definitely.
Or whether it's this.
Poor things.
Let me get back to you on that one.
I feel like you don't want to watch it.
I am really on the fence about it, and I don't know. I'm not saying no. What makes it even harder to say no to watch it is, like I said, I think it's Hulu. We have a streaming service that just has it sitting there, and it wouldn't cost me anything extra to go watch it. So.
I'll send it to you now.
I'll buy it.
No, don't buy it because like I said, if I'm going to watch it, it's on Hulu, I think, and so you wouldn't have to spend any money for it. But we'll wrap up the official portion of it. But I was going to say thank you both very, very much for being on here. I loved being able to meet you guys in person, and not just saying that you guys are great people, and I've enjoyed getting to know you so much. From just chats to in real life and talking more, and hopefully we'll have more of these meetups or things where we can hang out, but if not, do some more crazy streams where we can hang out and talk through this, and I can wear Emily down and try to make her fall asleep. And
no, you have been great.
You have been great. This has been a great
great. No, he's just giving you a hard time. But we got people saying so Jane Doe saying, have a great night, everyone. Great stream. Cody and Emily, fun chat. Thanks for hanging out, Mom. We appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you.
As always. Thanks to you guys and good night. But yeah, we'll wrap her up. So everybody, if you're watching this live right now or on a replay, you make sure, I always point the wrong way on this, but that way, make sure you're subbed up for those guys. Check out their stuff, and we'll be doing this again here sometime soon. But thanks again very much, everybody, for hanging out tonight, and we'll talk to y'all here soon. All right.
Bye.
We'll